Oh, gotta get buckled in before the drone man of the DJ! Oh, we're bouncing with the tempo, man! We actually are. Wow. I shouldn't be surprised that Ethan's hitting a drift. Yeah, well, with Kylie in the car, I thought maybe take it a little easy on us, but no.
I think that's the most fun anyone's ever had in the back of that ambulance.
That is a guaranteed fact right there. So, I have the engine mounted. Got all 3 engine mounts welded on there. They are not the prettiest things ever. They're kind of chaotic looking. So next up is the exhaust. This is the header pipe off of the Yamaha. This is the one off of the Arctic Cat. What I'm gonna do is just cut this elbow off of this header and weld it onto this one because it's already the right, size and shape basically. And then I'll probably just use the muffler / expansion chamber thing off of the Arctic Cat simply because it's a much more easy to mount shape. But we'll also investigate using this thing. The other reason to not use this is because it is mangled. It'll sound better, be louder, and have a lot more power with this pipe, but straightening that out and trying to make it fit on there in a sensible way seems. So we'll try it out with this. As long as it doesn't run too terribly, we'll just stick with it, I think.
You ready for inspection? Hell yeah.
Perfect, huh?
Yeah. Okay, you pass.
I don't know what I'd do if I failed inspection. Would probably lose the shop.
You get red tag, for sure.
This is why it's not always safer to wear gloves. I mean, that barely hurt, but still. Crash. Other side? It's a Yamaha exhaust.
Well, sure. Then you need to come on down.
Looks like it was made that way from the factory, kinda. Well, that took a lot less effort to modify that exhaust than I
And
thought
what
it
I
might.
say,
And
dude,
in
this
theory,
guy can cook.
Rate
this little
profile
guy right here
lights
fit
on.
on there pretty dang
Oh,
easy.
tight,
I mean, it would totally work just like that if we needed it to. Oh, wait. Edwin's really gonna like this. Chris, how about this? Yeah. Right into the handlebar zone where you just knuckle bash a hot exhaust. Tractor stacks.
What are you investigating, Chris?
Well, you gotta get this fuel pump off because it's got two outlets on it, which we need for those carburetors. That's what I'm working on now. Get that out of here and get the sub throttle and the skill switch off. And then you can help me get this thing out of here.
Oh, also before we get it out of here, we should siphon, pump, or drain all the gas out of it. It's got a good few gallons in there.
Carbs are ready, huh?
Yep. Chris got them all cleaned up. 20 pounds for
Yeah.
just an engine mount.
It's a 20-pound lug style.
The steering and braking arms are bent
Camera connected.
differently, right? So this one curves in and this one goes in and then flat.
Oh, yeah. Well, this bending in more would push more on this, which is why that last clutch plate is yeeting off of where it's supposed to be. If that was straighter, then it wouldn't have as much leverage.
Not sure why Sparky wanted up in here today, but that's where he wants to be.
I think he's just telling you he approves.
I hate to do anything that Sparky didn't approve of.
Yeah, you don't want to make him mad. He's pretty scary.
Yeah, vicious little dog right here. A little bit of rearranging and contemplating. I found a better position for this engine to mount. What I did is I took this Y-pipe header situation off, and it's all symmetrical, so I just flipped it over so it comes off this side. And then I was able to finagle it around and get it way farther back so it could drop down and fit. I played around with some different belts I have. This one's maybe a little long in this situation, but I can also slide the engine back a little more if need be. I'm gonna cut the pinch weld off the side of this pipe and weld it shut so that it's got more clearance for the steering column there. I need to go dig around and see what I got for a carburetor. If we have to rebuild the stock one, that's fine, but if I got something a little bit less crusty, that would be better. That's a pair of phaser carbs. That's 2 carbs for the same size of engines, and we don't want that. Honestly, this is what I was looking for. This is a 450 carburetor, flat slide. About the right size. It's a much more high-tech carburetor. How much you want to bet? Ed would be really stoked if we put a twist throttle on this thing.
Oh, yeah.
This video is sponsored by Fume. Fume is a flavored air fidget device that lets you satisfy the urge to reach for something without nicotine. There's no vapor, no batteries, just clean, natural flavors, and a fidget-friendly design that feels good to use. This thing is seriously satisfying to fidget with. It makes all the right clicky noises and magnets, and it's super fun. This is just a few of the flavors they offer, and when you grab a Journey Pack, you'll also get a free gift just for using our code. Head to tryfume.com and use code GRINDHARD to claim your free gift. Tryfume.com and use code GRINDHARD to get your free gift. So check it out. Look at this. Even the geese are trying to get some of this nice flavored air. Right, geese? You want some?
They are chasing you around with that thing.
They are.
Make sure that you use code GRINDHARD to get your free Fume topper, and thank you to Fume for sponsoring this video.
So, I took this rubber boot and I was able to carve it out big enough to fit over the carburetor. And then I figured if I've got more intake flow due to a bigger carburetor, I might as well port the intake manifold itself, make that flow a little better. See if we can't get a few extra horse-purrs out of this thing.
Be a little cleaner than what we had before.
Yeah, that carburetor fits by about 0 clearance, but it fits. So, in a poetic turn of events, we're also going to use the fuel tank from the other Snowcat for this one. It fits kind of perfectly right down in the compartment here behind the seat. And
is it bigger capacity?
it's massive. Like, the other option that came with this little cat is this little 3-gallon one here. 3 gallons would not last very long for the 552 stroke. Spacer tube.
So what are you making right now, Chris?
Oh, I'm making a bracket for the fuel tank for the back of the guppy.
Alright, Chris, they're all tacked. You can come practice your TIG welding.
Chris hasn't done all that much TIG, has he?
No, just that one time I taught him when I was welding up the chopper or the Sprite fuel tank.
Feeling confident, Chris?
Yeah, let me try here.
Look at that. Amount of the diaphragm pump right there to the engine. Don't look at the welding. Don't look at it.
Camera disconnected.
Yeah, that's way better. That looks like a weld.
I know how to weld, I just don't know how to get, I've never done it like with aluminum this
I know. I'm just messing with you.
Heliarc's totally different.
Grease, lithium grease down in that engine. It's sounding a little bit sticky.
Telemetry recovered.
Yeah, that sounds better. Okay, still no spark there. Still no spark.
Camera connected.
Evan and I are on a serious side quest.
Serious. You know what my favorite meme is recently? You know the guy who spends all that money on Magic Gathering? And it's probably his mom. It's like, do other people spend this much on this game? He's like, if they're serious, they are. I've been trying to talk my wife into letting me get some music equipment, so I'm like, if they're serious, they are. Alright guys, who wants to be Daffy? What about that little white one right there? Oh no. Oh,
Yeah, now we need a Donald.
they really don't like me.
Well, we are kind of invading their home currently.
Oh my god. I don't know. Oh no. Get out of here.
I just have to point out, Edwin, that you're the only one they chase. Like, look at this. I'm fine.
It's because they smell fear, man.
Well, have you discovered anything in your...
Absolutely nothing.
Huh.
It still doesn't have spark, and I have no idea why.
Yeah, that's super weird.
I've gone through wiring diagrams, I've looked at everything. I've double and triple checked everything on this wiring. I've gone through diagrams on the internet. I can only assume that in the time between us removing this engine and installing it, in this Snowcat, something got messed up. And the ignition system
Danger
just has
temperature.
no spark. It refuses to spark. So I'm not like 100% giving up on it, but I am gonna just
Danger
take a real
temperature.
quick investigation here and see what it would take to swap to a different snowmobile engine. I thought about it, slept on it. I think we're just gonna go with a phaser engine like we should have from the get-go. I'm
Danger
grabbing a few
temperature.
things here so we can see if we can just fire up one of the old crappy phaser snowmobiles that I have abused for many years. Let's see if we can just fire one of those up and drive it over here. Because that engine I have sitting right there is fine, but there's parts that
Danger
we need off of
temperature.
one of the other ones, and I really stopped caring about them as snowmobiles, so we might as well just rob the whole everything we need from one of them, I think. Ah! If I was willing to steal its engine, that would
Danger
make a
temperature.
real nice engine, but I'm not. Also, that's way too much work to pull that engine out of there.
Yeah, this one's kind of nice just to stay as a sled.
It's a great little
Danger
loader,
temperature.
support vehicle, trail sled, whatever.
What year are these?
Early 90s, I forget. I think this one's 91.
Danger temperature.
Telemetry lost.
Camera disconnected. Camera connected.
This is gonna work. I'm gonna take a few pulls.
Sure.
Camera disconnected.
I'm assuming he's just making sure it's gonna keep running. So if we put it in that little guppy machine, we're good to go. Oh. Oh, he went up the steep hill.
So it's come to my attention that Vasily here has never ridden a snowmobile. Really? So before I rip this thing's heart out, gotta let him take it for a little spin.
He's the perfect guy to take it through its last lap.
Exactly. Vasily, you like full throttle. That little old sled still rips. I've stripped probably 50 pounds of it off of it. There's nothing on there that it doesn't need anymore.
You can't kill those Yamahas. You just can't kill them. Like you said, he filled up full of water and froze the other one. And he pulled the crank, got all the water out, emptied it, poured a little gas down the spark plug holes, boom, fired right off.
Engine is free of all of its attachments. Or pull it out of here at least. Because it has all of its mounts attached. Might make a little play cat here a little easier. I don't know if I'll ever be able to figure out where all these go again. I'll probably never.
Vasily, have the guys filled you in on the only two company policies at Grindhard?
What is it?
We don't podcast for the Scent and Vent podcast without buying Chris donuts. And we don't push Chang Lee's on Mondays. And that's it.
Those are the only official policies.
Everything else
What's
goes.
everyone doing?
Anyways,
So,
so
yeah.
you ripped apart your good phase.
Right.
Not a
but
whole
Vasily
lot
has
'cause
never
no
ridden a
one's
snowmobile.
watching.
So I got it running first, which it sat for 2 years. And
Yeah.
fired right up, basically.
Yeah.
And runs like a top.
Can't beat a Yamaha, man.
Right? That old sled was so clapped out, there's not much that still is any good on it aside from the engine. But the engine,
It's built, right?
yeah, it's only got like maybe 500 miles on it. It's got better pistons, and I ported the pistons. It's got better reed valves, it's a really good engine.
If we put too good of an engine in this thing, it'll just break everything.
Or break you.
I'm already half broken. Ethan, you know how Chris is always dogging on me on the videos recently?
Yeah.
I'm gonna start dogging on him for opening up the holy grail of sparkling waters and taking 2 sips and leaving them here and then driving off.
Yeah.
Somebody's gotta stop him.
Someone's gotta stop him. Yeah. Stop this man.
I don't really like it, but the easiest thing to do is to just use all these rubber mounts that Phaser engine has and just make some little pedestals to them.
Yeah.
Like this worked great for the Arctic Cat because it had a big flat plate on the bottom
Yeah.
of these tubes, but they're not going to do anything for this, so I'm just going to do some little pedestals. these factory Yamaha mounts because I want to make use of their nice rubber dubber flubber stubbers. On this side already, I've got got one tacked on over there. Well, I'll see if I can do this same diagonal situation there and clear it and then cut it out afterwards. Basically, I have the engine all balanced up and situated just right, and I want to mount it and then dismount it, and then I can cut off those other mounts. We can all fit in the front.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That was part of the point, Edwin. It's Vasily Bill's last day here, so we got to take it to our local restaurant.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I got it for the next 100-mile challenge. I got to entertain myself while I charge. Yup. And what I was just doing just now was downloading some royalty-free music real quick. That's built-in speakers too, huh? Have you DJ'd before?
New thing on my bucket list.
Oh, this thing is comfy on the road. Oh, the ambulance is going to be such a party machine. This one's been bad for royalty
No,
free.
it's not bad at all,
That's
dude.
pretty good. All right.
Well, we just had a good lunch.
It's like all of our limousine dreams, but reliable. And quite a bit safer. There were no belts in there. I actually don't know if there's belts back here.
This thing off-road is going to be different.
Oh, yeah. I want to have seatbelts back here, man.
I was getting airborne for a minute.
It is actually wild back here. I wonder if Ethan is driving as fast as I think he is, or if it just feels like it.
The way I can see the trees going by, we're moving.
We're going pretty quick.
All right, so you guys seem to have slightly less bounce than I do. I think the further back you are, the more bounce you get.
That seat is the party seat. Oh, you're so right. Let's go, party seat. Oh, we gotta get buckled in before the drone man of the DJ. Oh, we're bouncing with the tempo, man.
We actually are.
Wow.
I shouldn't be surprised that Ethan's hitting a drift.
Yeah, well, with Kylie in the car, I thought maybe take it a little easy on us, but no.
I think that's the most fun anyone's ever had in the back of that ambulance.
That is a guaranteed fact right there. So, I have the engine mounted. Got all three engine mounts welded on there. They are not the prettiest things ever. They're kind of chaotic looking. So next up is the exhaust. This is the header pipe off of the Yamaha. This is the one off of the Arctic Cat. What I'm gonna do is just cut this elbow off of this header and weld it onto this one because it's already the right, size and shape basically. And then I'll probably just use the muffler / expansion chamber thing off of the Arctic Cat simply because it's a much more easy to mount shape. But we'll also investigate using this thing. The other reason to not use this is because it is mangled. It'll sound better, be louder, and have a lot more power with this pipe, but straightening that out and trying to make it fit on there in a sensible way seems. So we'll try it out with this. As long as it doesn't run too terribly, we'll just stick with it, I think.
Ready for inspection? Hell yeah.
Perfect, huh?
Yeah. Okay, you pass.
I don't know what I'd do if I failed inspection. Would probably lose the shop.
You get red tag, for sure.
This is why it's not always safer to wear gloves. I mean, that barely hurt, but still. Look, exhaust. Looks like it was made that way from the factory, kinda. Well, that took a lot less effort to modify that exhaust than I
Danger
thought it
temperature.
might. And now in theory, this little guy right here should fit on there pretty dang easy. I mean, it would totally work just like that if we needed it to. Oh, wait. Edwin's really gonna like this. Chris, how about this? Yeah. Right into the handlebar zone where you just knuckle bash a hot exhaust. Tractor stacks.
What are you investigating, Chris?
Well, you gotta get this fuel pump off because it's got two outlets on it, which we need for those carburetors. That's what I'm working on now. Get that out of here and get the pump throttle and the skill switch off. And then you can help me get this thing out of here.
Oh, also before we get it out of here, we should siphon, pump, or drain all the gas out of it. It's got a good few gallons in there.
Carbs are ready, huh?
Yep. First got them all cleaned up. Time to throw them back on. Bada bing, bada boom. Just gotta run some fuel lines. And in theory, if we plug the like 6 wires in right now, it would pretty much fire up.
Well, Ethan has an appointment to get to today, which leaves me and Chris unsupervised in the shop.
Turn up the music! Okay, what can I put the lips on? The Ferrari?
He pulled off with the lips. For reference to timeline, I just saw Ethan pull out of the driveway.
He's gone! Alright, we're free!
I think they took his wife's car. Should we go put those on Ethan's truck?
Oh yeah. Wouldn't that be cool? Huh? Yeah. Let's do that. Yeah.
You can just zip tie it on there. You couldn't be too bad, right?
No.
Oh no.
This is great. Yeah.
Autisms.
All right, Ethan, if you're watching
Ooh,
this,
shit.
you can blame me just as much as Chris this time, because I did give him this idea like
Oh,
immediately.
that's retarded.
Perfect, don't you think?
Oh, I think it's good.
Oh, it's perfect.
Somehow it actually does kind of match the shape here.
See, you can get away with stuff like this when you're the dad, you know? He's gonna love it. He's gonna be so excited about
Danger
it. I like the
temperature.
tongue. It's pretty great. It's pretty great.
So how are you liking the TIG welding?
I'm liking it. I'm getting better at it. The aluminum's a little trickier than the mild steel, but I really like it. You know, I'm just been a MIG welder my whole life, so you better have a life vest on.
Oh yeah. I was definitely
Danger
planning
temperature.
on wearing the life vest.
Yeah, I hope so.
Danger
Here's the
temperature.
thing, Chris. One does not simply buy an amphibious tank and not test.
Well, it's not. I don't think it's really that amphibious, but
Well, that's the way it's
they claim
advertised.
it is. I think
Danger
it's like,
temperature.
Isn't it called a jet car or something?
no, it's called a play cat.
Yeah. So I guess cats don't
I think the
really
reason
like water.
they say amphibious is because it'll kind of float if you're going through a swamp or something, but I think you really have to have something down on it.
Oh, by the end of this video, Chris, I'm going in the lake.
Get out.
Yup. Places you can't even walk, Chris.
A little bit of cleanup there, you know, so I don't have to be responsible for him dying in this thing. That looks sealed, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you know what they say on the streets, Chris?
That's one issue.
Good enough is good
Or
enough.
else we try
Personally,
to
I'm
get
excited to see Edwin take this in the water, because I'm kind of with you. I don't think it's going to go super well.
I'll wear my wetsuit.
It's not gonna go well.
I have a 5
You
millimeter
better wear the
wetsuit.
scuba gear.
Put a little tension on it.
All right, your fingers safe?
Yep.
Danger temperature.
Nice.
Danger temperature.
Too many holes in my boat, Chris. You didn't put the schlackum on it?
The Yakum Pucky. It's called Yakum.
Man, between your boards, Ethan's words, my dad's words. I'm not gonna say a real word ever again.
You know what Ethan started saying that I
Danger
always said
temperature.
to drive him nuts?
What?
11D4.
Now, can I get the back one?
Yeah. I think it's pretty boring if you just go around saying regular words. You gotta have your own little made-up language like you use in the clubhouse, you know?
Yeah. You can talk things in front of people and they don't know what they're saying or talking about.
Yeah. There's a look at that premium Shrek house. And then we know what it means, but who else would know? We're in the guppy. We're putting Yuckum Pucky on the guppy.
Danger temperature.
No one would ever know what that means if
Danger
they hadn't
temperature.
seen this video.
Danger temperature.
Normally, in a situation like this where I just want to get this thing working, I wouldn't be completely redoing the harness. But one, it's a very simple harness, and two, it's kind of crusty. This thing
Danger
was in
temperature.
that snowmobile over there. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I
Danger
set it on
temperature.
fire one time
How
by
do you set it
accident.
on fire?
I think it was when I was trying to get it started after it had hit, like the engine had been filled with water and frozen. So I think I was using a propane torch on it to heat it up, to heat up the engine, and some gas was leaking out or something. Point is, I'm gonna redo a bunch of this harness because it's super messed up and crispy. And
Well, and like you said, that's like the simplest harness I've seen in a long
yeah,
time.
it's very, very simple. Also, that spare engine that we have there has electric start. This one does not. I could put that on there, but I mean, this engine starts so easy, relatively speaking, I'm just gonna leave it for now. We can always upgrade to electric start later on. Figured I might as well bolt the gas tank down. There's no reason not to. Make my life easier if what I'm sitting on isn't flopping around. I'm not quite sure why Chris had that all ready to go and then didn't bolt it down, but it's the work.
Wow, okay, it is visibly faster. And what I said earlier in this video about it not needing to be faster for Edwin, I'm worried.
I think what it's doing is actually just slipping the clutches. Largely. Those clutches there just don't hold the power right now. But I think we should be able to, we can maybe put a stiffer spring on there. I'm not worried about it having too much or not enough power. It absolutely has plenty of power. Man, with a proper seat and, you know, some earplugs and a few other things, this thing's gonna, I think that the lack of clutch pressure was simply an adjustment issue, largely, and those arms being bent certainly didn't help. This thing is the little bit that actuates those clutch, steering arm, whatever you want to call them. It had a little needle bearing on it, which was pretty cooked. Also, due to unknown asymmetries in the system, there's not enough adjustment to get it right, and which is actually, I think, why those were bent funky. Somebody else bent them to make it work. Instead, I'm gonna make a plastic bushing that goes on this that's a little bit bigger in diameter on one side than the other, so. But yeah, we might have to cut the steering column, twist it a little bit, and weld it back together, because now that everything else is straight, it's not. And if you look down at this plate here that has the two arms, it's pretty dang straight right now. This is just crooked, because when we welded it together, it was, that one down there was crooked.
What'd you bend that over?
Pipe.
Oh,
I just bent it over that, and then I took it over to the brake and did the little backward kickers. Two exhaust mounts, perfectly matched. So these will go underneath, like so, with a little tab for some rib nuts.
Close.
I've been saying this for years, but man, I love rib nuts. They're so handy. Bada bing, bada boom. And then it points down, and then we can just cut it off at like a little, some sort of little floaty, slanty situation like that. See, if I twist it like that, it points downward, but I don't like it. It looks so much nicer and cleaner like that, don't you think? Yeah, that looks much nicer that way. Yeah, nice and simple, I think. I mean, the kickout would look good too, but then it does a whole nother seam we gotta weld.
Chris, I want you to keep the Costco hat because it's going to be even cooler for the next generation. It'll be even more vintage, and the kids are going to love the glizzies even more. But here, you're saying that one's not big enough for you. The Grindhard hat, I tell you what, it is comfy, and warm.
I just don't know. Mine disappeared. I had one of those and it's just gone. I don't know what happened to it.
Sparky, look at your pups.
Oh yeah,
Your
that's
pups,
nice.
Sparky. Woo!
How's
Looking
that?
good, Chris.
Yep.
Looking good. It fits over your ears.
Yeah.
And it's not even worn in yet. Yeah, now you just got to keep that one on ice for a couple years. Be able to sell it at auction for like $100. No time flat.
Yeah, probably.
Look what came in the mail yesterday.
Hallelujah.
Wow.
High speed and low speed adjustment for compression and rebound adjustment
Wow, for the Ferrari.
for the Ferrari. Dual rate springs. So we get that nice low ride height, but we get tons of down travel when you jump it.
Nice.
And it's just the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. The air-cooled nature of this engine, it pulls the air in from over here, which is fine. It can pull it in from generally the compartment, that side, wherever. It exits, yeah, the radiator. It exits over here, straight out this side. And if we put this side panel on just like it is, it's just gonna keep all that hot in the air in the engine bay, and it'll probably get rather warm. So I'm gonna take this panel and cut a chunk out of it here and replace it with some something a little more porous.
Kids.
Yeah.
They come out to here like that. In the
No.
front and yeah.
What do you think? Well, I already drilled the hole. I'll go ahead and cut out the last hexagon.
I think it might look better that way anyway.
Probably.
Ethan's hexagoning the guppy. That means he actually cares about it.
Oh yeah.
This is a cool rig, you gotta admit.
I know. I'm the one that went and bought it. Yup.
Did you hear the part where Evan was comparing it as the Chang Li of Snowcats?
I mean, he's not wrong, except that it's a lot better quality than the average Chang Li, especially now that we've replaced much of it.
I'd push-up bet you, Steven, but I can't really do push-ups with my cast. But how many holes do you think we have here without staring?
Probably 15.
Steven says 15 holes. What do you think, Ethan?
21.
That's two different numbers. Do I hear a bet coming on? How many push-ups?
I'll put 10 pull-ups on this.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, Edwin. count
We
them up.
have a pull-up bet.
12, 14, 16, 18. Yeah, we all lost already. I haven't even counted.
Figured out if I just push it around with my fingers, I make way less of a mess.
just a dabble do you? Wait, are you putting those in from the top?
Yeah, because we want the floor to be flat, right?
No, you want the bottom
Danger
to be flat
temperature.
so you don't get stuck on things.
But then it's gonna be sticking up where our feet are
No,
and stuff.
so what? No, nobody's feet are there. That's under the gas tank. Cut it off.
Oh.
No, you're gonna get caught on every single little tree branch and pile of snow and everything else.
I see what you're
No,
saying.
the whole point was for them to be flat on the bottom.
Oh. Okay. Maybe we should just put this thing on the side then?
Yeah, we can do that. Well, I found out yesterday that I can deadlift 275 at least 3 times, so this should be not too bad.
Next bet will be deadlift with a guppy bet. Well, I've got one hand.
I only need a little bit of help to get it up over it. Yeah. Okay, now hold it right there. And walk around to the other side.
Oh yeah, that looks bad from the bottom.
Also, all of your goo just went out the other end with these.
That's why I started wiping it around the edge.
So Ethan, what do you give Edwin's odds of success?
On floating?
Yeah.
I think it depends entirely on what this thing's original weight to water displacement ratio was versus what it is now. I think that as far as water tightness goes, it's going to be close enough for a brief test. So yeah, it's just going to be, does it still have enough buoyancy to float? And the answer is I have no idea.
This is like the random stuff, and then the other scrap piles like the really big stuff. This is like on the way to the scrapyard someday, eventually pile.
Well, what do you need something like that?
That big square. That's 3/4 square.
Oh, I think there's a bunch of that in the chain link. I remember the whole chassis was square tubing, but oh yeah, see, look, this is what I was talking about. Will that work on its side?
No. I love how easily you ripped that out of your car.
You should try driving 100 miles in the woods, and these are just falling off like flies, man.
I just still have a suspicion you just didn't make it right, because there's no way it was that bad.
Dude, I'll bring you some if you want to try. I still have it from the original challenge. Where'd you find it?
Over there behind the grinder.
Just chilling?
Well, it had fallen. I knew I had it up on that rack, but
Oh.
it was too short and it fell down.
Oh, I see. That's why it had to be so specific.
Yeah, because it goes right there.
Yeah. I tell you what, this is one goopy guppy.
It's a goopy guppy.
Yeah. I'm pretty like, what's the word where you're like...
Optimistic, Edwin?
Yeah, I'm optimistic. But even I'm starting to think that this might not float.
Yeah, I think we might have to do a float test before you paint it, though.
Yeah, I think so. Oh.
Pretty nice.
Nice last minute addition.
Yeah. That there is pretty nice heat shield if I do say so myself. The question is, do we put a point
Danger temperature.
facing straight up? Or
Yeah, straight up.
Straight up? Yeah.
Need something to keep that
What do you
motherfucker
think?
cool.
A little red or a little green?
Definitely red.
Red?
Yeah.
All right, red it is.
Definitely.
You heard the man. Red it is. All right, time to fire this thing up, and Edwin's gonna find out if it floats.
Woo!
Let's see it.
What in the heck? Okay, what the heck? This thing fired first pull yesterday. Something must have got disconnected. Yup. The wire to the coil got disconnected.
Ethan's photography teacher would not have been proud. I said that was nice. Chris said the whole thing is nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
It sucks.
I like it. No, you can say anything you want, but that's nice. I like it. It's just meaningless. You know? I like it a lot.
It's specific. I like that it's a Yamaha 2-stroke now and has a really cool hexagon bit.
Specific. Yes. My favorite part is this panel right here with the little hexagons and expanded metal. See, now we're critiquing a photograph. But saying, that's nice,
All right,
I
Chris.
like it.
And I decided I'm going to hold my judgment on this until we see if it floats or not, and then I'll tell you what I like about it.
Okay.
Now, it'll be happier. That's how it's supposed to run. All right, so I'm drawing you some little instructions here, Edwin. Choke. Shifter, we've got reverse. Push in, forward, out. It's so much better in every way. Let's go.
Yeah, that's fucking loud.
Device disconnected.
Oh, you fucking dog shit, cunt.
You know how earlier I was like, it doesn't need to be any faster for you driving
There goes
it?
the
Yeah.
light.
Oh no.
Device connected.
That is so sick now.
I had to make sure my clutching was an improvement, and it is. You can still slip the clutches, which is perfect, because you won't break the rest of the drivetrain, but
Yeah.
it has enough clutch engagement now, it rips.
After seeing it rip, I think it's even more important we cut these off. This thing's so good, Ethan.
How much you want to bet we can get him to admit it's better than a Chang Li?
Oh, we'll be able to.
I didn't think I'd be doing donuts in a snowcat today. Dude, I've created a monster.
And this exhaust is so warming.
I just now realized, as a kid, I spent like years drawing and dreaming of building a miniature, well, not specifically, but something with tracks that was not slow.
Yeah.
Like basically a ripsaw, but those didn't exist yet. And I just realized that we kind of accidentally built / bought that.
This is like the grind hard budget ripsaw.
Yeah, it is, but dude, it is so much fun. It's so much better than I thought it was gonna be. This makes me think we now need to build like a mega version of this with like an RMK 800 engine
Oh, yeah.
and like real suspension on
And
both
a real
sides.
roll cage.
Well, yeah.
You can get
Dude,
it up on one track. Pretty
Imagine if we built this with an 850 boost. I knew Steven would love that thing. This thing is definitely not on the safer side of things we built, and none of us even considered putting a helmet on.
No, we literally have 6-inch long forehead gougers.
It's Safety Steve approved.
It's
Oh,
so
man.
sick,
This
man.
thing's nice.
I knew you'd like this one.
Yeah, no, this is a nice one.
Also, check out that heat discoloration on the pipe there. That's looking nice.
Also, we need to put a little grill right here, and you
we
could
could
like
make
zip tie some
bacon.
sausages to it.
Okay, here's the thing, Steven. You clearly haven't snowmobiled enough in your life because they make a thing called a hot dog cooker, and it literally just wires onto your exhaust, and you put hot dogs in it, and it cooks them for you while you ride.
On this Snowcat challenge, we have to do that.
Yes.
We've had a test drive that unsuccessful in a long time.
Hey, the test drive was extremely successful. The test float was extremely not.
And I don't think any of us expected it to go well when it hit the pond.
You know, see, what I was going for there is enough momentum to get out on the ice and then break through flat.
Yeah, I thought that
this almost worked.
I thought the initial ice was a lot thinner, to be fair. I thought you were going to go right through it. But you were wheeling on it. And then the rear end cracked before the front end.
Well, because the middle ice is way thicker than the edge ice.
Yeah.
And I had forward momentum.
Chris was giving us about 100% chance that that would happen.
I knew it was going to sink.
Ethan said you literally didn't even want to come out of the garage, so you didn't have to see
I knew
it.
it was going to sink.
You got to do R&D before you get the good final product.
I know.
This is a lot like Act 3 of Titanic, the movie. You'll have that on a Grindhard Plumbing Company video.
Don't give it any unless it starts to run.
No way! The water's like rushing out on each pole. No way!
Feather it. Feather the throttle.
Might as well.
And when you want to give it a little pull.
Yeah! Is it just pouring?
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. I mean, that was fully under. It was up to here.
Yeah, for like 10 minutes.
Wow!
Oh, yeah!
We're gonna want to do an oil change tonight.
Yeah, we just did one.
Yeah.
We just flushed out the crankcase.
Yeah. It was so smoky before, it's not even that smoky now. Is the choke still on? Is that what killed it?
How much water do you think got in our gas tank?
That's the other thing. It might have just sucked in water into the fuel tank, too.
I guess we could bring down a little bit of hose and siphon it out. Because our bilge pump is MIA, man. This is the most Chris way to do it ever. Oh, Chris, follow me to my truck.
What do you think he's got? Huh?
Well, it's a Newegg box.
What we got here? Recipe for poetry. Oh, man.
Yup.
Edwin?
Yup.
You dog.
Hi guys. Hi to you, Steven and Chris. Love the vlog. Since just before the 6-wheel shopping cart. Sorry about the pile on the MTV.
But good that Ethan seems unharmed. I was in a truck too. That looked wild. We all know of Chris's sweet tooth. Thank you for sharing your good and not good times with us all.
Modify this fucking thing.
See, we just had a not good time. I figured it was appropriate.
Wow.
And look what we got from Joe from New Hampshire. Oh,
Wow.
the holy grail, Chris.
Oh.
Smell it. You smell it through the box. I've never seen anything sink that fast.
I don't think I could have sunk it faster if I tried, really.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's the end of Titanic, because it goes like this and then just goes down.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you did, just in fast motion compared to the Titanic. You know, and it really was caused by an iceberg, too.
I mean, I did sink a theoretically floatable thing by hitting ice.
Yeah. Wow. It held a lot of water for a long time. That's a good sign. Yep. That's all we have for this week. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Really? Really? Did you think I wasn't gonna notice? This is literally the first thing I saw. Wow. Good one, guys. Good one.
That is the world's cheapest car, and we've already converted it to 4-wheel drive. But what we haven't done yet is put it on snow tracks. And we only have 1 week to put it together because we were invited to the coolest winter party of the entire year, so we want to bring out as many snow toys as possible. This is gonna be the first time anyone's put tracks on the world's cheapest car. So far we have the rear axle from the Japanese mini truck, and we also have the front end on there. Fox air shocks in the rear, still the same shocks that came off the mini truck in the front, and two 28,000 watt motors.
And some very cooked U-joints.
Ooh. Oh, I forgot about the giant holes in the floor.
You need a floor.
Yeah.
Looks like you're gonna be doing some pressure washing too.
I have a lot of work to do this week.
Oh, hey, you know how we couldn't find the pickle fork?
Hey!
We've been looking for this for like 6 months.
Right now, the rear motor does not work. The brakes never worked, and the entire car feels like it is falling to pieces.
I won't lie, this thing's always kind of scared me a little bit.
It's pretty janky. We've been through things in this rig.
A man and his Chang Li.
Yes, sir. Time to rip out all the electronics and then pressure wash the entire inside. This seat frame never was really the move. It makes it really hard to get the batteries in and out. It's significantly dirtier on the inside than the outside, but I guess that's the way it is when you have a giant hole for a floor.
As I started cleaning and removing all of the plastics to weld a roll cage into this little car, I realized that it was in significantly worse condition than I thought.
My favorite feature is this burn hole.
Yeah, she's seen some fires as well. It's not even tack welded, it's just construction foam in the gap.
Nice.
Ooh.
Well, that is a good way to make it watertight, I guess.
Yeah, I should add more.
Yeah. Yeah, you can make it float if you add enough.
Ooh, places you can't even walk, man.
Places you can't even swim.
Making some room to do some welding.
Hindsight's 2020, but we probably should have done this before welding on the roof rack. Could have saved a little bit of headliner. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about putting that back in. That is disgusting. Oh my god, that is terrible. I cut away the thin, weak steel of the original Changli so that I could attach the roll cage to the stronger bars we put in while building the rear 4-link suspension. Oh! Look at that. No holes in the original tube work. That's what I'm talking about. Now I just need to get off that little nook there. And then we get to ask Ethan what to do next. That's my whole plan here is listen to the master. He said, make room to put the cage in. Almost done, maybe. I'm trying to figure out my very first bend is going to be what all the other bends are based off of. And so I'm thinking about 30 degrees because if I go up too steep, the steeper I go up on my first piece of cage, the harder it's going to be to get that big battery in and out. So I'm thinking like 30 degrees is going to look about like that. And then we can easily get the battery in and out once we remove one of the seats. Wow, we've had this since before Brittany was free.
Wait, way before, because we didn't even have a wrap on it for a couple years.
Oh yeah.
BMW colors here.
Yeah, the original BMW
Tractor paint
colors.
yellow and black.
Did you imagine a Changli with a roll cage? This has to be a world's first.
I can't imagine anyone else doing this.
For any reason. You know the saying, be the change you want to see in the world? I want some caged 56,000 watt all-wheel
Dude, I'd be
drive
watching.
Changlis, man.
On tracks.
Yeah, it doesn't seem tall enough to me, but I gotta keep telling myself the actual bend is here, not here. So, here we go. I have filmed and edited Ethan doing this for 7 years now, and somehow managed to never bend a tube on my own. Until now.
Although I think you didn't mark that right. See this mark?
Yeah.
See how this is 1.5 inches this way? You put the mark on the back side of your block, not the front. Now you figure out how far away you want this, over there, and then you figure out your degree number, so 90 degrees times 0.078 is the distance that it takes to get from here to here. So then you measure across this, like put this against the square of the table, measure across to where you want.
Ethan stepped in and helped me with the measurement, and it really wasn't as complicated as it sounds. All of the required math is on a sticker on the side of the bender, so after a quick push in the right direction, I realized that I was just overthinking it.
Uh-oh. I run over my own extension cord for this.
You might actually have enough.
Really?
Awesome.
Alright, we're good.
But I should have kept the first block on to make sure that my next bend was on the same plane.
Yes, you put a new block on every time so that you can keep it flat. Or you keep at least 2 on there at all times. When possible.
Even with that mistake, the main hoop was close enough, so we did one more bend and cleared some room to tack it in place. From my measuring, the bottom is 41 inches across, the top is 40, and the top to bottom varies like 3 inches on either side. So the body is so not straight, a weld together kit might not be feasible for the Chang. Premium, dude.
It's perfect. Nice.
And we're so close to the body, I'm gonna do a few taps to the body to stiffen it.
Oh, absolutely.
I need to tie my roll bar to my B-pillar so that I can pry on this one and get it to line up right. So I went scrummaging in the scraps and found this that is the perfect size.
ever since we added 2 motors to this to make it 4-wheel drive, it has never worked correctly. So I'm going to remount the controllers, redo all the wiring, and make sure that both motors work perfectly fine before I move on to the next step.
This is just for a temporary test drive situation. I'll pick the proper hardware so you can quickly mount and dismount your Chang-Li speed controllers. Well, look at that. That's what I wanted, just a pile of wires coming out the front. Nice. Yeah. So we were filming for episode 5 for the Dr. Ed series on Instagram, where I fixed things, mostly Chang-Li so far, and I got the other Chang-Li stuck in the pond. Again. But it's perfect timing because this Chang-Li needs a load test. What a better way to test the load of a vehicle by towing out another vehicle that happens to be stuck in a frozen pond. We've got both controllers mounted high, which is good because we'll be going through water and we don't want to get the controllers wet. That's the whole reason I mounted them higher. And then we got both batteries fully charged. We'll go in full power mode, yank the Chang-Li out, and if both axles stay powered, then we know that our power isn't an issue and I can go back to building the roll cage.
Device disconnected.
Oh, you dog shit can.
You ready for a 0 to 60, man?
You think this thing will go 60?
Maybe. We've never tested it. Oh, that was dumb.
How are you always hitting things in the Chang-Li?
Oh, I forgot.
Never ceases to amaze me that a drilled hole is never fucking
And I hit
round.
my head against the windshield really hard. Like I started braking there. See where my drift parts start? And I was like, oh yeah, I don't have bricks. And I was like, oh yeah, there's a stump under the snow. I heard a and then a crunch. Yeah, the second crunch was my head. I really gotta wear a helmet when I drive this thing.
Give it a quick lapping.
It's pretty hard to take him seriously with that stethoscope and nurse hat. Oh, man.
Time to get serious.
Did I just hear the phrase, time to get serious?
Yep. We know for sure everything works. So we need to find a place to put the batteries in the front, make a battery mount for the rear. Definitely get a harness bar so we get our harness, and then take the Chang-Li way more seriously because I was drifting out of there. Was I spinning all the tires?
Oh, yeah.
That's like a kid block situation, man. Since I didn't bend this in a straight plane, I need to kind of push it back and then tack it in place. So I'm gonna make some 3/4-inch squares that are basically going to go here and here to hold it in place, so when I brace it, make my X and my tube going up front, it will be locked in and where it actually goes. And this is my favorite part about the Arcdroid. You don't need a computer. All I'm gonna do is go to trace, hit the shape button, hit a square, press it in. Now I select how big I want my square. So I want it 0.66 wide, and I want it, actually let's do 1 inch wide. Might as well make it a rectangle. 1 inch wide. So we're gonna move this to where we want our square to start. So you can tell that this whole piece is gonna stay on because of that little green circle. And all we have to do is hit run. Step on the roll cage is going to be doing the diagonal support. We're going to go from this 90 right there to this 50 We're gonna go right into the armpit of that. So I'm gonna cut it 46 inches, leave room for both notches, and then we're going to do 2 bars that go here, here for the harnesses on the seats. A little bit of tappy tap goes a long way. Believe it or not, it actually fits so well, it's holding itself in place. Would you look at that? We're trying to decide where to tie in the front of the roll bar, and Ethan realized something pretty big.
Well, we were also talking about mounting batteries up here and stuff for weight distribution, and I was leaning on it, and I was like, yeah, this suspension's really stiff. That's not suspension trouble. See the body moving? That's the body flexing. Because this front subframe is actually stupid strong. It's just that it's not tied to anything else. So right now we have a rear subframe that's super strong, a middle subframe that's super strong, and a front subframe. But none of them are really connected.
Exactly. And that's why, as you're steering it, the steering moves up and down. Look at the steering wheel when I do that.
Yeah, it's the whole body moving. I don't even know how this thing is still in one piece,
I don't know either.
to be honest.
I think it's hanging in there by hopes and dreams, pretty much.
Basically, yeah.
I remember there's some kind of science to how high you want your harness bar. And I think if it's lower than your shoulders and you're in an accident, it's kind of pulling down on your shoulders, which can like hurt your spine. I went on the Corvette forums because, you know, like race car, it looks like you just want it level with your shoulders. So I'll just make the bar kind of have the harnesses come out at the top of the holes.
Who's watching? Sitting here watching me talk to myself. Fuck you.
I notched it 3 times, and then on the last one, I was like, I'm not notching this forward. Went a little too far. So now I've got my hard notch done. Now I just need to do the 90-degree notch, and I'm gonna do it there, which should be too big. And I'd much rather do it too big than too small. This is probably called a throated shear. So I'm going to call it the goated shear because I think I can cut the holes for my roll cage in the Chang Li body without having to smell burnt Chang Li paint. Because I'm tired of smelling burnt Chang Li paint. I'm going to go from here to here, start curving down here, and then we're gonna do a bend that makes it go from there to like there. That's the plan, right? Yep.
I'm kind of shocked you have Ethan tricked into helping you on this.
Well, he's waiting for supercharger parts, so. And he does want it to actually be safe before we go to heavy
I don't want it to be. Well, also I don't want the front end to break off. Before this thing took itself on a test drive down the hill and ripped some pieces off, and Sam rolled it with Will in it at my birthday party, and then you guys took it for a 100-mile challenge. Well, also shreked it around the woods for many hours, and then took it on a 46-mile challenge, and then gutted it, and then willed it. Before all of that, I actually thought it looked cool and wanted to build it into either a mini crawler or like a. I mean, we all know I'm more of like a fast, long travel guy, so like my vision was to put like a street bike engine in it and do mini Baja stuff. So it's not that I hated Chang Li's from the beginning, it's just that they got a little bit out of hand with the places you can't even walk.
We trash canned it and then you lost motivation to make it cool.
Pretty much.
Yep. Welding up the cage, I'm going to sand off these fenders because we do want to put paint on it before we put it in the snow. I figure this is the driest and cleanest it's going to be for a while, potentially. Now it's time, good a time as any.
welded to the body in a lot of places. So yeah, that'll be great. Plenty strong.
I think I'm gonna put on a mask before I sand this side. That Chang Li paint is not something you want to be breathing, man.
I mean, you really don't want to be breathing any paint.
Yeah.
Edwin's been breathing a lot of paint.
You're almost going to be too safe on your 100-mile challenge.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, a lot of your safety depends on the way you drive. And if there's one thing I've done right in life, it's really drive a Chang Li dangerously. Oh, this is so cool.
It's also kind of fun building a cage in something that, like, as Dave would say, good enough is good enough.
Yeah.
You know, like, this is extraordinarily overkill and, like, makes it the whole thing look better. You know, I'm used to, like, I don't know, just being really OCD about making everything perfect, and this thing's just kind of like, nah, close enough.
Yeah. I normally use the other Chang Li as a transport vehicle, but I bet the steering hitting a difference.
Only one side is braced. All that body flex is gone.
Massive difference.
I'm gonna make two tubes that go from here to here.
Okay.
Along each side, and that way you can lop out the weight
Yep.
clearance issues there.
Yeah. Yep. Not only are we bringing the Chang Li to Snowden, but we are also bringing the monster chopper and our Hayabusa powered snow bike. Now we borrowed the ski for a different project, threw it in storage, so it's time to see if we can also revive this thing before our trip to Utah. It's probably gonna smell like that in there for weeks.
That's better than the stale gasoline smell that
Oh,
was in
yeah,
there.
true.
It was really bad. Literally welded to the floor.
It's welded to the floor.
They just don't build them like they build R1s.
No.
Frickin' cold start after like 2 months of sitting and then just rev bang for days.
Oh my god.
Oh, I've been eating fish, man.
Edwin, are you cutting and melting metal? Good for you, man.
I bet some stuff. I'm learning.
Right on.
We got 3 generations here. Chris taught Ethan, Ethan taught me.
Yeah, but you and I are the same generation. I'm only like 3 years older than you.
If you ever need any good advice, Edwin, you know, you can always come to me too.
Okay.
You know how I used to just hang out at your shop when I was like 10 through
Well, you got
18?
got kicked out of Waldorf school.
No, I didn't.
And your dad brings you up and goes, look, teach this kid something.
No, I hung out at your shop long before I stopped going to the Waldorf school.
No, the story is you got kicked out.
No, it's not.
I know, but that's not what really happened. That's the story.
This is Chris, a fabricator that lives up the street. When he comes over, it is occasionally to help us out, like when we built this garage, but usually it's to give us a hard time and check out the new projects. When Ethan was 11, he started hanging out at Chris's shop, started learning, and never stopped.
We've gone through all the options, and it seems like the best place to put the battery is underneath this seat because it's the lowest and the most central location. So I'm going to use a bunch of pieces of scrap to fill in these holes, and then I'm going to cut this bar, and then this bar we're going to make little brackets on so it's removable.
Yes. Extra crunchy. So what happened is those just lost their grip on reality. It started spinning around all willy-nilly. Went over to Timber Sled the other day and picked up some of these, which are actually for their previous style, where the rails were wider, but they have metal clamps on both sides. So with a little bit of modification, they should work and also be considerably less likely to strip out.
We were getting pretty sad because we were losing too much of the original Changli. And as I'm patching up the floor, I'm like, you know what? Some of these little bits I cut off are perfect floor patches. This probably isn't the right tool for this. Good enough?
Got these all modified and pressed on to, I believe, the correct location. Time to put it back together. This isn't even the first time I've done this today with a track.
Yeah, when I showed up, you were working on snow bikes.
Oh! Yeah, don't try to catch it. I was gonna say, don't try. You'll not end well.
My knee might not have ended well.
Steven and the snow bike survived the fall, and Dave came in just in time to help us shove this track into the right place so that we could put on the chain with everything fixed.
We're doing one of our first big brain maneuvers on the Changli. I'm gonna cut off this piece of stainless steel fire truck. So I did a line that way as well, so I know which line is, right side up. Because the way we did this originally is screw the tabs into the seat, put the seat in place, and then tack it. So these are like perfectly aligned to the seat, and the holes are just big enough. So as long as I line it back up to that line after I cut it off, we're golden. That's the tool I should have used from the get-go. Holy smokes.
Device
Amazing what a
connected.
new blade will do.
Yeah.
The last time you and I used that, it didn't go like this.
No. The moment we've all been waiting for. Will it fit? Woo! Yeah. We need just a little more room.
The new axle on the Changli is so far forward, we don't need the inner fender this far back anyways. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that out, throw in the battery, and then fill in the hole.
Just a little set lifting. Oh, look at that. Oh! Something we never considered, Ethan. What? Where the passenger's feet go.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
I did think about it. I just figured if the Changli, who cares if the passenger's a little uncomfortable?
Well, for 100 miles, look, it's fine. You got so much space here.
Comfort was never part of your
You
100
just-
miles in.
And there's so much room in there, we could just cut a hole and you could just stretch out your legs.
Yeah.
I decided it was worth scooting back as far as possible, so that way we have as much wheel well clearance as possible.
Is that North Idaho is a totally different place than the rest of Idaho.
Yep. One of the more recent Joe Rogan episodes, they asked ChatGPT where the safest place to go is if there's a nuclear explosion or a nuclear attack,
and it was Sandpoint, Idaho. Not even Coeur d'Alene, Sandpoint.
We should really stop telling people this stuff.
Yeah, I met 2 people last week that moved here because of our channel.
Oh no! Although you know what, for reasons to move here, that's a pretty good reason, you know?
Yeah, usually the drone shots. They both mentioned the drone shots. They were like, I just had to try it out. The silver lining is, I'll just use it this way, and that's the beginning of my wheel well.
Looks like Dave's gonna take a fucking smile.
It's been a while since I seen him rip this thing.
Oh yeah, it's been way too long, dude. This is my favorite sounding of all of the things we have.
Somebody wants cans.
Takes a little bit of getting used to the weight and stuff. As you can tell, I hit neutral down there instead of second. But that's because I'm dealing with that. So I'll have to add a little something there. I'm actually excited when we take it to Dave's thing. Like, there's a huge open field because I've only had it here and then up in the mountains once, but there wasn't really room to open it up out there. So yeah.
It's gonna be cool to see what kind of speed you can hit out there.
Yeah, it'll probably be limited by my comfort level more than anything else.
Well, this might be the first. Look at this. We've got 2 76-volt batteries going to this 26,000 watt controller, and then we've got this 76-volt battery going into this 28,000 watt controller. And it just did the rough math. We have about 12,000 watt hours of electricity as storage capacity
That's a
in
lot.
this rig. It is a lot.
That is a lot.
Now I have to wait till the other 2 batteries charge. So I think what I'm going to do is punch a hole here and mount the batteries in the hood. I could put them behind the seats, but honestly, I think this thing needs a little more weight in the front because these shocks come from the cab over K-truck. So I think any weight in front of the axle, at least for now, is gonna help the performance of this machine.
That is correct.
I found our last 2 pieces of L-channel, and I didn't even cut them, I swear. They just happened to be the exact distance between these 2 tubes. So what I'm going to do is put one down here, one up there, and then the idea is this battery sits sideways on it. We ratchet strap it down, call it done for now. So now, while the batteries are charging, the last piece of the puzzle is put this thing on tracks, man. For once, we remembered to buy some spacers before we actually needed them, which is the correct order.
Yeah, you'll have to drill these out though.
Oh, really?
Those lugs are bigger than these holes, unfortunately.
Oh, shit.
We ordered these adapters. They're made for like golf cart ATV stuff, which normally has lugs that look like this and not half-inch diameter lugs. So these holes bored in here are for like, I don't know, a maximum size of nut of like 14 or 17 millimeters. So we gotta go tuner lugs, but tuner lugs are too long. So, we're gonna lop them off. Yep. Still enough in there to dack it.
Perfect.
I don't know if we have enough of these, so you might have to pick up some more on Monday from O'Reilly or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's time to see our baby Lee on tracks.
Look at that.
It's one of the last days we get to work on the Changli. I brought up the tuner lugs we needed to finally get this thing on all fours.
You could
long
say
day
you
today.
brought these nuts.
One could say.
I found a few more in the bin when I was cleaning up,
Oh,
so
dang.
that one's bolted on.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did some work this morning. You could eat off this floor.
Well, I wouldn't. Go ahead if you want to. It's not that clean. That's what I do every morning these days. Wake up at 4:30, have some coffee with my wife, and then once the coffee sets in, about 5:15, I got to start doing stuff. So I come out here, listen to some heavy metal, and clean the shop.
Heck yeah.
Or work on one of my snow bikes, depending on what's going on. My nice clean floor.
The first rear track.
Dang, that looks good.
Yeah, it really does.
The original frame of the Changli was sticking out so far that the bottom links of our suspension were actually running into it. So we cut out the corner that was sticking out too far, reinforced it, and then put on the new tracks.
The old MIG's actually getting used.
Yeah. I mean, the Changli's covered in rust, crust, Chinese paint, and we're dealing with really complicated, hard-to-reach areas, and we're on a time crunch.
Yeah.
And it's a Changli, so the old squirt gun it is.
We're getting it done. That's what matters.
Well, I know what I miss is the slow-mo shots back when that was our only welder, so let's get some of those. We're so close to seeing the final look, but still very far from it actually working. What a machine, man. This thing being electric, when it's going through the snow, you're just going to hear the body shaking the pit. Remember the simulant bear attack?
Cool. Think about the vehicles we're taking. And I heard we have to drive a number of miles on a trail, snowmobile trail, to get to this cabin. I'm going to be on the chopper. One of you guys is going to be on the Hayabusa snow bike. And somebody's going to be in this. This is the only thing that has any compartments for luggage.
Yeah, the Changli is going to be saving the day.
Until it breaks down, and then it's going to be like, oh no.
For the first time ever, we have all three batteries fully charged and connected, so it's time to see if this thing moves with the tracks on.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah. It's got enough power.
Yeah, I don't think power is going to be our limiting factor.
No.
Oh, not necessarily removable anymore, but we're running out of time. We can make things perfect when we get home. Alright, so the tracks are in place. But what we want is to attach this little arm to the axle so that if we hit bumps and stuff, it will allow it to travel but not spin all the way around. And whatever was mounted to last just needed this little bracket that attached it to something solid. So we're going to build a bigger bracket to attach it to something solid. And this is a piece that just was meant to help us set up the Harbor Freight trailer. So getting our use out of that straight away. Even already has one of the bolt holes for me.
I don't know if you can you put
Something
blocks
like
on
that.
the ice every day? Block ice.
close as we can get, and I think the closer the stronger. Nice. That is done. Hey, we left this out in the rain and then it froze, so we weren't sure if it was going to work again. We bought
Glad
this
it's back to life. That has memories associated with it.
Oh yeah, we bought this on the limo trip. The limo trip will just always be a fond memory in my heart.
Now that the Changli is on track, we can't turn without them hitting the front bumper. So we're gonna cut it up as tastefully as possible, and what we ended up with, I think, actually looks better than it did before.
It's a little weight reduction in itself, let alone the steel. This is the original Changli fender that I saved. Basically, I can set this up to fill in this hole. Something like that.
Probably gonna need multiple pieces.
Yep. But this still saves me making this radius, which would suck. We happen to have a bunch of this black engine enamel paint, which sticks pretty dang good. So this will be our first little glimpse on the Changli. What final look is going to be.
As I finished painting the fenders, Ethan started working on mounting the harnesses and made some steel tabs for the seat belts to bolt into.
Well, it's getting there. And I got all the harness tabs welded in. Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, I figured you didn't think about that. Yeah, I was just thinking of the top ones. It's going to be a 4-point, not a 5-point, because that'd just be silly in this thing. Yeah.
It's just got to keep your head from hitting the roof of the window.
Yeah. Found a U-joint. It's for a Kubota tractor, it turns out, but it's the same one. Anyway, yeah, slap that in there so that we don't have quite so many vibrating, wobbly activities going on. We'll be about ready for a test drive. Lickety slap this here. I'll tack this down so it doesn't go. It won't keep the snow out, but it'll keep the snow from flying onto whoever's in this. Yeah, kind of. That's something.
The whole door is one thin piece of steel, so.
Right, but the Rotopacks could at least be tighter to its own mount. That's better.
We did it. We got the Changli done with just enough time to load it on the trailer before dark because we are headed to Utah, where Heavy D Sparks is throwing the biggest off-road winter event in YouTube history. And right now, I'm thinking this is going to be one of the best weeks of our lives.
This thing is gonna go so many places. So many places you can't even walk. People will not believe, man. Gee, what a machine, dude.
Ain't that a sight to see?
I feel like I'm witnessing true love.
Yeah. And overspray.
It's gonna be hard to find something this thing can't do. No way. We're about to do something that no Changli has ever done.
smooth. It's way quieter than it ever was. I think stiffening the body with the roll cage and welding bits of the body to the frame for the first time ever was a huge improvement sound-wise. And that U-joint too was obviously a big part of it. Put her on the trailer. Then when we get to Utah, that's when things get real. I was taking it mad easy. I never went over like a 10th throttle on that whole little jaunt. You know, it's just one of those things. Not every machine out there can go places that you can't even walk. You know? If the Chang Li was gonna bring this trailer over to the garage, there'd be nothing to speak for.
You want to know something really dumb? Don't get me wrong, this is a great truck. It's a truck. Not only is it a truck, it's the off-road version. Does it have tow hooks? No.
the Chang Li does.
This truck is too smart for its own good, or at least it thinks it is.
It really is.
They were like, wait, that's a Chang Li. And the other guy was like, what's a Chang Li?
No way.
I'm dead serious.
Well, when I walked by them, they saw my shirt. I'm wearing the places you can't even walk right now.
Heck yeah,
That's what I
man.
meant, huh?
Represent. And after an easy 11-hour drive, we were at Snowed Inn with all of our favorite YouTubers and hosted by Heavy D Sparks. Now we have an amazing opportunity to test the Chang Li out. And who a better co-pilot than the man who built this thing, Robbie Layton.
I will go for either Chang Li, Ching Chong.
Chang Li?
Yep. So sketchy.
Have you ever been in a regular Chang Li before?
Before.
All right.
I'm gonna want one after.
Yeah, I think you are for sure.
Are you strapping in?
Yeah, I'm gonna strap it.
I better strap in too.
I mean, it's got the roll cage, so it's not gonna crush us, but we might end up sideways. I don't know.
I forgot to tell you, the brakes don't work. Oh, that's nice. I think there's enough rolling resistance on the track. Oh, yeah.
For the first few seconds, it seemed like our hard work had paid off, but it didn't take us long to find a major flaw.
I got enough brakes! We're going down if we like it or not!
Oh, that's out.
No, we're good. That shadow is so awesome.
When the rear motor was under load for a long period of time, I think the battery was cutting out, and then the front track would dig in and the rear would do nothing.
So all of the components are from another Chang Li?
The only thing left of the Chang Li is parts of the body.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
So then the motors...
The motors and everything are custom motors from Electro & Co. I don't feel like it wouldn't be doing that well if it was just the front.
Yeah, it's doing some good.
Oh yeah, there we go.
This way moving around.
Yeah, we'll do a less steep way.
After resetting the batteries, we took a less steep way back up to the cabin, and it worked. So that confirms our theory that one of the batteries was just getting asked for more voltage than it could put out for a prolonged period of time.
Dude, that was awesome. The rear kept disengaging, but you know what? If he didn't full throttle it, it was just fine. So he's gonna switch the battery out and take us out for a ride again.
Oh, sweet.
That was awesome. That thing's fun. It's like the cutest little thing here.
And we don't have brakes, so we just started rolling down the hill. So what we have to do is remove that battery, put one of the Electro & Co. batteries on each motor, and then we'll be fine. We just won't have as much range. When you hit a certain RPM, it's literally louder than the black box.
Chang Li's alive! That is way too fast. very bad.
Oh no!
What was that?
I don't know, I'm turning it off.
Get me out of here.
That didn't sound good.
That sounded bad, actually.
That sounded very not good. What just blew up? Dude, we were just watching you guys go by. We're like, where did it go?
You guys were ripping.
It very much smelled electrical.
It smells electrical.
Oh no.
That is not good. No.
I realized we should probably have a fire extinguisher. I just let off the throttle after I heard the bang.
I think you just blew a tap out of it.
You know how we replaced one U-joint? Yeah. After I ordered it from Napa, I thought, wow, I should have ordered 2 of those. And I didn't, because I didn't. And now we're here.
Okay.
It'll eat the yolk, but it'll probably keep moving forward for quite a while.
Okay.
We'll just run it until it doesn't run anymore.
What happened?
So I came in here just to scooch this a little more out of the way. That's good. And right here on the gas pedal, with all the needle bearings still in it, is the U-joint cap. With all the needles still in it. Sick! So we can just hammer that back in and should be good to go for a minute. But one of the clips was just gone, I think. The clip that holds this in. Oh. So what we really need is that clip, but if we just, hammer it back in and go for a while.
Okay.
It pops out again, we can order up a U-joint, but I brought up the toolkit, so. Cool, it's got a hammer in it.
What a beautiful machine. Holy smokes.
I mean, the ripsaw's pretty cool too, I guess.
Time to prove once and for all that the Chang Li goes places you can't even walk. Yeah, buddy, we're doing it now, man!
The Chang Li looks so silly out here, but it's doing really well on these grim trails. I wonder how it'll do in the powder.
This is the Chang Li, man.
The Chang!
Come on in. The U-joint is just about to blow, but I think we got at least 3 more minutes of driving in.
Okay, I dig it.
Thanks. It's my first one.
Oh, you really? You built this?
Yeah. That's the thing. People walk right in front of you. They don't realize it's on. I think we should go right between the helicopters for a swag factor.
I've really never seen anything like that before.
I was gonna point it out, but I had like a half a second to do so.
Let's see if we can get ourselves. Uh-oh.
It went right over a gigantic log.
Oh. Shoot.
Well, that didn't take long.
I don't even think you'll be able to get out, Edwin. You guys think you need a winch?
Yeah, actually, if you could pull us sideways, we kind of caress the stump in all the wrong ways.
Oh, yeah, no, you're not supposed to hug those.
Yeah.
Tree hugging is not good in motorsport.
What do you even call this thing?
What does it say on the front of Cocoa? It's like a so-called Cocoa. I don't know, everything's in Russian. We call it giant Russian quad.
Is it amphibious?
Yeah, it'll float.
Holy smokes.
And then you can air up your tires. See how the air on something?
Yeah.
Really weird with the exhaust to pump them up.
Sick. Free spool. If he pulls me sideways, I'll just drive right on out of here like he couldn't even walk.
So what's the story on how you guys got this thing?
Well, I'd seen them on Instagram, And for like 2 years, we tried to get one in, and a bunch of importers said it was impossible. And then I found this guy who said he could do it, and like 6 months later, and a lot of sketchy wire transfers, here she is.
What percentage-wise did you think you were never getting your money back?
I thought maybe 45% we weren't, but I think the guys have 100% written off our down bid. For sure.
He went right into a stump. That's pretty common for him, really, actually.
Yeah, especially in these snow conditions, you can't see it.
Oh, even when he can see him.
We're gonna tip the whole thing over to free the track from the stump, and then we're gonna pull it back with the giant four-wheeler. I think this is working.
What part of it?
All of it. This is the dream.
Recovery service is running here, right?
Now it's on its side. I leave for 2 minutes.
And right when we pulled the Chang Li back from the stump, Dave Sparks rolled in with his new wrecker to pull us back upright.
Wait. You get a great view at how well engineered the undercarriage of this car is right now.
My favorite part is like the fact that it's just actually tack welded.
They don't make them like that in America, man.
That's exactly what you want to hold your brakes in.
Yep. Thanks for taking me upright.
Yeah.
Yep. Bend out a little body work.
And after all that, we were still stuck. We got one more tow, and that was the end of it.
Oh! Gentlemen, this is a reoccurring theme on your Chang Li driving experiences. You get too excited, and you try to go places that you think you couldn't walk, and then you break your Chang Li.
Well, I saw
really
some
early on.
fresh pow pow, and I was like, let's go.
And it turns out it's a fresh stump. The front half made it over this, which is impressive.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
You know,
It was a fun 30 seconds.
it was a really fun 30
I'm gonna
seconds.
tell everyone about it. Made
All
it
right.
a Chang Li.
Brings a tear to the eye, man.
Black and blue, in love with you, broken and bruised from all the abuse.
Sometimes in life, especially with Chang Li's, you just have to take the punches. One day this thing will go 100 miles. And it so happens that today isn't that day. This trip isn't that trip. But we will come back and we will go 100 miles. Like, maybe this works for a K truck, you know? But for a Chang Li, you just have so much more raw power and capability that the K truck parts can't keep up. get out of Changli right now. Fancy meeting you here. Guess how many horsepower she took to get out? Many. That's 350 and the 1025 Hellcat Jeep. Both how? They had to like double chain link pull it out of there. That's hilarious. Yup, you wanna hop in? Yup. Diesel Dave was nice enough to not only drag us out of the woods, but lift up the entire Changli so we could back up the trailer under it. I don't know how we would have done this otherwise.
I think it's janky. I only said it because I just read the grill right when you asked me that. I actually love it. I think it's cool. It's innovative. You're taking something that people probably cruise for groceries and going out in the Arctic tundra and killing it. I love it. Very creative.
Yeah, it used to be called the Tank, but then we always said it was so janky that we called it the Jank. Look at that. Man, this rig
Camera
is cool.
connected.
It only took a crane and a bunch of help, but we finally got this thing back on the trailer. Now it's at home and I'm rebuilding it for the 100-mile challenge. Special thanks to Heavy D Sparks for having us out. Our video covering the entire Snowden series will be out next week, so subscribe. We bought the cheapest Humvee at a government auction site and attempted to drive it 1,500 miles home. And from the moment we laid eyes on it, we knew this was going to be tough.
Already overheated and it's leaking diesel from the diesel tank. Flex plate is completely sheared off.
Disconnected wire stuck in second gear. This is not going well. It took 2 days of work in a Walmart parking lot to even start the road trip, and then 40 miles later,
It just got worse. I think the transfer case exploded.
but after much struggle, we eventually brought it home and decided to turn one of the worst Humvees ever into one of the best, starting with a Corvette engine and today, a supercharger. But will this cursed Humvee be able to survive the new horsepower?
The steering box exploded. There's gotta be something wrong. What the?
Let's find out.
Play stupid games, earn stupid rewards.
Exactly.
It's probably the most exciting day of the Humvee's life, and also probably the most terrifying day of that LS's life. We have this, which is a big old supercharger built for a Cadillac, and it's got this awesome billet adapter kit made by Fabworks that makes it so you can put a Cadillac supercharger onto an LS style engine. This setup is designed for truck engine, Tahoe, where all the accessories stick out farther in the front of the engine. What we have is a Corvette engine, and all the accessories are closer to the block. We got this whole set from Holley, their complete Holley mid-mount accessory drive kit, and this is the water pump housing and the mount for all of the accessories, which will push them all out to the right distance for this pulley. Bit of extra work to make it all fit. This is a Corvette engine, not a truck engine, but with all of these sweet new parts, we get to upgrade everything and make it all fit all in one shebang.
Camera
So
disconnected.
the biggest
Camera
question
connected.
here is how I'm going to make this fit in here. That's
Camera
not enough
disconnected.
clearance for supercharger. We'll pull the hood off, take it outside, pressure wash it, and then start removing parts. Einstein! Are you a mutt, Bjorn? Fredo, are you a mutt? No, Fredo! Einstein sneak attacked me. Put some curls, make up for the undership today. I mean, he is 80 pounds, so yeah.
Camera connected.
The time that I have to admit that I broke everything on the Humvee this weekend. Not everything. just the rear differential and one of the front axles. So it doesn't drive anymore. May have been driving the Humvee around showing some friends and family a good time. And I broke the front CV followed by the rear diff. So now I got the other Humvee to pull it out. Good times.
The best.
I was just getting a little too rambunctious with the hill climb. Have a look at this here CV. The whole cup, it just exploded out the bottom.
You really done sent that one.
Yeah. The other Humvee is right where I left it when I pulled this back into the shop after breaking it.
Always buy 2 Humvees if you're buying Humvees.
Exactly, because then when one breaks, you can pull it around with the other one.
And spare parts.
And spare parts, yeah.
We have been rallying hard in the snow and mud recently, so it was really important that we clean this thing up before we make room for the supercharger. But the floor got slippery and we almost ended up in an all too familiar situation.
That was almost an Edwin Chang Lee situation.
You'll have those Edwin Chang Lee situations, man. Can you believe that we have 2 Humvees and 2 Chang Lees? Like, how lucky can one group of guys get, right?
I think most people would be a little more excited about the 2 Humvees.
They both go places you can't even walk, I'm not gonna lie. The Humvees are pretty capable.
First step is drain the coolant, which I'm doing currently. And then remove the radiator, the cooling stack.
One of the best parts about working on these Humvees is it's only 2 bolts, the hood's off, and then you have full access to the engine bay to do whatever you need to do. To take the intake out, Ethan blew away any remaining dust and grime with some compressed air, removed all of the lines going to it, and then it was time to take out the old fuel rail.
Here we have the old fuel rail with these 36 pound/hour injectors, which are great for a relatively stock NA 57LS. And here we have, from Holley, a set of brand new 76 pound/hour fuel injectors. By the way, measuring fuel flow in pounds per hour, is that not the most ridiculous American measurement thing you've ever heard?
That's
Yes, let's measure the flow of fluid in its weight per hour.
With the fuel rail out of the way, Ethan started to unbolt the old intake so we can put our new supercharger in its place. But as soon as he removed that old intake,
oh my god, look at the mud underneath the intake. Oh, that's good, right? Yeah. I mean, it's fine. I just need to clean it very carefully. Wow, this is really the opposite of weight reduction. This intake weighs like absolutely nothing. That intake is hefty because this intake is also a supercharger.
so we took out the vacuum and the rags and covered up all the holes with duct tape so nothing gets in here while we are setting up the supercharger. Next, Ethan removed the water pump and that was in mint condition.
This is how you know your water pump is healthy. Mmm. Crispy, crunchy, peanut buttery. Healthy.
The water pump came out easy, but the crank pulley was a whole nother story.
With a little bit of persuasion there. Just pop loose. See, we're getting. Dang, that one was on there. Yeah, Holly came with this super duper fancy harmonic balancer and pulley setup. I don't even know all the things it can do, but it's rebuildable and tunable and balanced and all sorts of things. And it's accepted by the NHRA, so we can go drag racing with this thing.
The blower?
No, this pulley. The crank pulley. Because clearly, the crank pulley was going to be our limiting factor.
Fabworks makes these conversion kits for the superchargers that come on Cadillacs and Hellcats because they're mass-produced in a factory, so you can get them very affordably, especially in the used market. If you want more information, check out our link below.
The top of this plate here is pretty much perfectly flush with the
Camera
this surface
disconnect. Camera
there,
connected.
as it sits. And that part is rather structural.
Camera disconnected.
Maybe looking at bit of a body lift. I've decided to commit to just hacking this up and hoping that there'll be enough clearance there. I mean, worst case scenario, we'll be looking at like ½ an inch or something that it needs to go up for just. I know it'll fit, but I'm not sure exactly how much clearance we'll have there. It's kind of a hard thing to measure. So worst case scenario, I'll have to just do like a ½ inch body lift, which we can get away with that really easily. Let the choppage begin. Glad we went with the Cadillac supercharger instead of the Hellcat supercharger option. Gladworks also just developed an adapter setup to put Hellcat superchargers onto LS motors, and they're capable of way more horsepower, but they're also like another 2 inches taller than this.
Unstable connection.
Talk about
Camera connected.
tight fit.
Even after some Sawzall clearancing, the supercharger was just not fitting. But instead of cutting out more of our Humvee, Ethan decided to put the intake adapter first, and then after a little struggle, the supercharger fit in place.
Yeah, it's a tight fit, but it is a fit. It almost fits underneath that, but not quite. And obviously we don't want it too snug in there. It'll bounce around and damage things.
So Ethan had to tape up the adapter for one final round of cutting, so the supercharger fits right where it belongs.
It even has like at least a ¼ inch of clearance all the way around.
Do you think that's enough?
Yeah, I think so. Even this right here happens to line up with this little, relief in the side of it. So there's actually more clearance than it looks like there is in some cases. We go ahead and start installing all of these goodies from Holley here on the front of the engine so that I make sure I know where everything's gonna go. Oh, for crying out loud.
The gasket fall off.
Ah! These things are kind of a pain. There's nothing to hold the gasket onto anything, so it's just flopping around like a fish out of water. This is a very rare sight here.
Is that a torque wrench?
Yes.
No way.
Well, there's a piece of paper here with actual listed torque specs on it, so I figured I might as well listen to it for once. What would you call the hand equivalent of micrometers, If you're looking at something and measuring it with your eyeballs, micrometers, what do you call it when you're feeling torque? Turns out I am an idiot. This accessory pack I thought was the same spacing from the block as regular stock LS truck accessories. Turns out they're not. So if you had a regular truck LS
Danger
or its
temperature.
accessories set up, this pulley would line up perfectly.
Danger temperature.
This Holley setup, which is super nice and gets everything all down low and all of that, it happens to be slightly different, and somehow didn't notice that. It is supposed to line up, but because I ordered the wrong stuff, it doesn't. I'm just going to modify this pulley, basically add a spacer so that it moves it out exactly 3/4 of an inch, which is the difference here. Good parts, good parts. Turns out they didn't work together for this application. But with a little bit of welding and a
Danger
little bit
temperature.
of machining, we'll make it fit. Come on.
Danger temperature.
Sit. Oh, wow. Now I've done it. Bent the edge of that pulley.
Danger temperature.
Look at me being a dumb. I guess instead of modifying this pulley, I may be making a new one from scratch.
Danger temperature.
Really silly of me to have ruined this. It would have been a lot easier to modify it than make a whole new one. But would it really be a grind hard video if I didn't break something and or have to make random weird parts to adapt things?
And right when it seemed like we ran out of luck, Ethan found just what we needed in the parts pile.
Also, you know what the best part is? This is an original Humvee serpentine belt idler.
Perfect.
Since I'm using this sleeve from another pulley instead of the original, one, I can just keep taking measurements off this and I don't have to, cut it apart. But two, I don't actually have to modify this part really at all. All I have to do is make an insert for it. This distance from here to here is about an inch. And we need to move the pulley forward 3/4 of an inch. So there'll really only be a 1/4 inch of this that sticks back over the snout of the supercharger. So what I'm going to do is press this in here and then turn down this back sleeve until it matches this face. In theory, that should be right. Although first, there's these little bits that were squished to hold the bearing.
Danger temperature.
So that part's getting taken off anyway. I'm just going to go with the die grinders. Cleaning up that surface there where I'm going to put a couple tacks on it.
Camera disconnected.
Been out here since like 6 this morning, working on my latest snow bike project. My Husselberg 570 with a 137 track on it. Yeah, I'm just putting on this. This is a timber sled part. They call it a trio, but it's just a big air shock that goes in the front here to add in some extra suspension to the front. If you're wondering what I do on the weekends, when we're not filming grind hard videos, it's this. Working on snow bikes, riding snow bikes, at least this time of year. How's it feel? So much better. Yeah, feels mint.
Camera's still connected.
Power steering pump stuff's all way nicer. Yeah. Way more better situated. Wow. Yeah.
Well, if you need any, we can check how good your machining was on this pulley.
Oh, I don't think that's gonna. That'd be checking the bearings that were installed in there. I don't think that's gonna have anything to do with the machining of the pulley.
Sounds smooth. I'd say 10 out of 10.
He's the doctor.
Is he? Yeah. Yep. I'll let you know if your heart's good, if your head's good. I guess that's the current thing. I don't think I need more tools for that.
So, I decided to go ahead and be smart and swap to the high pressure pump. So I pulled all the bits off of this one, like this better reservoir and the pulley that wasn't yet installed. And I actually got, I didn't pick this up on the way up, a power steering pulley removal and installer set. I've never had one of those. I did that because I had to actually get the old pulley off of this pump to get the bolts out because it's not got any holes in it. Sometimes the right tool for the job is really the right tool for the job. This new location for the power steering pump is much nicer for hose routing and such. This hose is shorter and much more out of the way. This hose has more slack in it, so it can be tucked out of the way as well. All good things. I hear you have some news for me. Oh, yeah. So, before you tell me what happened, Stephen just came in and said, Edwin has something to explain to you. And I said, what, did he put the Changli in the pond? And then he said, well, sort of. So that's where we're at.
There's the pond here on the Muddy Strait.
Oh, yes.
That's like pretty deep at this point.
And the Changli is in it, dead?
Yeah.
Or stuck?
So it had like 10% battery, and you know how lithiums are.
Yeah.
So I was driving, I was like 6, 5, 4. I get to the very middle, lights off, completely down.
Nice.
In the middle of the pond.
Well, I mean, that's not nearly as bad as I imagined it to be, but I guess it can't quite go places you can't even walk, because one could definitely walk through that puddle.
Well, with the full battery, we'll see if it gets out.
Do you remember when this was a chicken coop?
No, I don't actually. I think the first time I came over to Ethan's, he didn't have the chickens anymore.
I feel like I'm filming like a found footage video of like a man in a nurse's stuff.
Oh jeez, I almost fell. Time for some ice to save my EV from the pond before it turns into the other kind of ice. It's literally freezing as we speak. Look at that, you can see the ice layer forming. I'm coming for you!
I mean, it's not really places you can't even walk, but it's places you definitely don't want to walk.
Yeah. How are we constantly getting ourselves in these situations, man?
Be kind of gentle. I feel like that generator's just gonna like fall.
Here we go! This is the one! This is the one! Places you can't even walk in!
We got our beautiful injectors from Holly. These are 76 pound per hour injectors. And it just so happens that the flow rate that I wanted came in a different shape of injector, different length than what this setup is designed for. Supposedly, if you just take regular stock Chevy 5.3 truck injectors and decap them, so you take this little bit off here, they flow around 70 pounds per hour, which works well with this on a super budget setup. We don't have truck injectors already, so I got these ones from Holly. These flow 76 pounds per hour, which seems like a good number. And anyway, I just had to get these little billet adapter thingies here to make them all fit. So now, oh, and then I also had to get these little adapter plugs to adapt to the style of plug that's on our harness. a bad doctor. Come on, Einstein. We got work to do, bud.
Problem solved. Call Dr. Ed for all your needs.
Look at that. Set of injectors. This 180-degree bend actually happens to be the right distance to get from the intake here to the side of the engine there while going around. There's also this, but that's a sharper bend, so worse for flow and more rubber versus aluminum. So normally one would take this bead roller and clamp it into a vise. I think in this application, having the bead roller run around the tube is going to be easier.
This is my beef stick, Fred. You're a good boy, but I need these calories. He sees that I got the beef. Okay, do you want one nibble? Well, now I need 2 nibbles. Here, Fred. Einstein? Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Okay, go find it. Over there. I see it. Einstein, right there. No, my hand. Right there. Yeah, that was it. That's all.
Look at that. Bead rolled. What we have here is this back plate for the throttle body here. Not entirely sure why it's removable, but it is. So that's convenient because it means I can remove it and then tack this piece of tubing to it and make sure it's all going to fit and then just weld it up. And then I can weld this piece to the little cap that goes on the back of the supercharger. And we'll have ourselves an intake right away. I decided to make it basically the shortest possible, which is easier, but also it's just less cluttery. And that way we can get it running, test it out, and we can just slap an air filter directly on there on the back side of the engine for now. And we'll be able to run it and make sure everything works, and then I can later build an intake that goes up through the snorkel or whatever I want to do.
This being shorter is great because it will be plenty strong to support the throttle body, but it is a super tricky weld because it's super thin aluminum onto a very thick plate.
Now look at that. There should be plenty of space between this and the engine cover here, which doesn't really matter. I'm going to have to redo that anyway to clear the supercharger, so. Look at that. All welded, ready to go. Installing this here fancy schmancy damper crank pulley thing that says if you're doing any high performance driving, they recommend red or blue Loctite. I went with blue. And then this bolt has a fancy procedure. It says you tighten it to 37 foot-pounds. Yeah. Serpentine belt installed. I do think we'll need to get one that's like just a teensy bit longer if we can find it to be able to put an extra pulley in here, but that'll only be an issue under, you know, full throttle situations.
Well, we do find ourselves in those.
What are you talking about? I never go full throttle. I drive very conservatively at all times.
Since the throttle body is now behind the supercharger, Ethan had to rearrange the throttle position and the idler control cables.
These things work incredibly well for cutting stuff like this. It's kind of weird. They're made for cutting like battery cables, really. You can just shoot One of my issues is map sensor. I didn't think about this until today, but this is a map sensor for a stock Corvette. It can only read vacuum, basically. It doesn't know boost. But in theory, we should be able to start it up and idle it still and get everything set up. Let's see what happens when we crank this thing. I have no idea. Oh, that's spewing. The lifeblood. Oh no, she's dead. It did try to run there for a second.
It did. She would have fired right on up if we weren't hollering.
It is amazing how much that looks like.
Yeah.
So the return is at the regulator, not at the rail. You can set it up either way, but the point being, I was trying to bleed off the air and there wasn't getting any fuel. So I was like, maybe it just doesn't have any fuel in it. There was just a little splish splash in there, and it's gone. All right, now let's see if it wants to run.
The problem literally was it ain't got no gas in it.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a fuel pump building pressure now. Hey! And these cheap and things are leaking. Good.
Where do we keep the fire extinguisher these days? Just asking for a friend.
Scattered all over the place. There's some by the wood stove. There's one like somewhere over here. There's one literally right behind you, actually.
Am I blind?
Yes, you are blind. You're looking straight at it. Look up about 20. No.
Hey!
That's funny. I won't lie, I didn't see it at first either.
I'm not jinxing or anything. I'm just keeping an eye on it. Like, I did just see fuel pour everywhere.
Mine is still pretty flowing.
It's leaking again, isn't it?
It's not terrible, but it's making a mess.
Intake of this thing just... I heard it. And that was at like a 400 RPM idle and it was sucking that hard.
It was breathing it all in and spitting it out on the Chang Wei.
Yeah, we're sitting at 46 this time. I need to adjust the pressure regulator until we have 60 PSI because that's what the injectors want. And it's what they think they have.
After playing with some of the settings, Ethan finally got it to run at idle.
Yeah, so I've established that my incorrect map sensor is indeed incorrect. And I can make it run just barely, but I finally got the gauges so that it was reading a boost gauge, or boost pressure for me. And at like a really low idle, it thought it had like 12 PSI of boost, which explains why I was running so rich and so poorly, which means the map sensor was off. Obviously, this thing isn't running 12 PSI of boost at idle. That would be ridiculous.
So while we were waiting for the correct map sensor to arrive, we started putting the radiator back on and put a heater core with a fan built into it on the passenger side. This is going to be a game changer for the next long road trip.
You know how we were riding in a Blackhawk the other day?
Yeah.
Did you take the time to look and see that the whole thing is just held together with rivets?
No, I was too focused on everything else.
Oh.
I figured you would kind of do a quality inspection.
Well, I don't know if I'd call it a quality inspection, but there was a nice big, structural component next to me. It looked just like this. Rivets everywhere. The point is, if the rivets are good enough for a helicopter, they're good enough for a Humvee. That's a heater core right there. With just a level 9000 face blaster for the passenger at the moment. Yes, filling it up with cardboard for no reason. No, I've made a decision, and that is I'm just going to build an engine cover from scratch. Because I'd much rather work with aluminum, or steel for that matter, than fiberglass. Frederick is a sad boy. He wants to go outside.
Why do you want to go out there, Frederick? It's like 14 degrees. Huh? Well, what you want to do up there, huh?
I have this all marked out. Some of these
Action
lines are cut
cam.
lines, some of them are bend lines.
Got my jarring shit there.
Some of it I'll
plug
be able to
in,
bend with the metal
turns
brake.
on.
Other things I won't, like this bend here.
Jarring fade.
I can't bend with the brake
Camera
because this part
fade.
here doesn't get bent. Only the center section
Action
does.
cam.
So that one, I'll just
So
score it with the
switched.
skill saw. Actually, a
One,
lot of them I'll probably just do that. It needs
two,
welding it afterward, but
3, 4. Can add more. It's a spot going, bro.
see here, I have this line there, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. No, that's where it actually gets cut. But this other line that goes to a point here is where it needs to bend. So I actually just cut a little bit of extra here so that the brake could work on it. Because if you're trying to bend just this teeny tiny little nubbin, it wouldn't really work very well. So I'm going to bend it at that line and then cut it at the other one. That's precision right there. Look at that. It even stays in place all on its own. It's a miracle.
And from some angles, you can't even see the seat.
I know. I don't even think it's heavier than the other one.
Yeah, it's probably not that heavy at all.
No, doesn't weigh much. So now I have this edge seal stuff. I'm going to see if I can get it on there. Really, I don't even know if I need any to hold it down because being under this lip kind of holds it down. Now that I've done all the fun stuff, it's time to replace the parts that I broke. Got a replacement differential and a new front axle. In the future, I will try to drive less like an idiot. Oh, wow. That was not an easy one. No. Shoo.
That's not going to be easy to get the new one in.
No. But at least the new one won't all be bound up and covered in dirt. It's not pre-entangled on the minus side. Gravity's not in my favor. Ugh.
Just put a hand on it, or
Alright, got the rear diff pretty well done and installed. It took more fluid than I expected, so we're going to need a little bit more before we go, full send or anything. But back together, so now I'm going to swap out this front axle and then bring it back down on the ground. And hopefully very soon we'll be able to do a test drive. Alright, let's see if it wants to run a little better with that new map sensor. I'm just trying to figure things out. So this is the target air-fuel ratios. Just go through and get a good idea of what's actually going on.
watching?
messed
Who's
with
watching?
Too many things, trying to get it to
Ah,
idle.
you watching?
All sorts of
Going
flat
on?
out here. I found the problem. There's just a giant intake leak that I wasn't even aware of. But on the back of the supercharger here, there's a port. It's for something factory that isn't there, and I didn't realize that it was open.
You'll learn
So it's
soon,
just
bro.
a hole about that big around, just sucking fresh air right there. That's why it won't idle. So I think I found a
There's
simpler
some scene
solution, and that is
switches, set
this
this
little
shit
plug
up.
that's in my plumbing supplies drawer, and this tap. The hole in the supercharger is pretty much the right size for this. It just isn't tapped. So I think I'm going to tap it and just do it very carefully and have the vacuum there sucking up all the chips. There you go. Idles like a dream now. It idles great, but needs some more work on the rest of the tube now. Well, I just had a new experience. I was trying to get the power steering system to bleed, which I suspect it wasn't, largely because the reservoir is lower than some of the points on it. It kept bubbling over just like foamy stuff. It was being a real pain. So I thought, oh yes, I'll start the engine up and then just pour a smidgen in there while it's running so it can suck it in and not get all air bubbled. Well, that was going just fine, and then the steering box exploded. Yeah, the end just blew right off of it. I don't know what's going on here.
Well, that's an unexpected delay.
Yeah, luckily we have a spare Humvee to steal parts from if we need them. I got the steering box off, and I was looking at it, and I realized I didn't break anything except this cap. It's held in by this giant snap ring. So what I can do, instead of robbing parts from the other one, is just make a new cap.
Shut up.
No perfect domes here, but pretty dang close. I wish I knew if this was supposed to be like press fit or just slide in there. I'll tell you what, this is not what I thought I'd be doing today. How did your girlfriend put it? Play stupid games, earn stupid rewards.
Exactly.
I actually just popped it back out and turned it down a little bit more on the outside here so that it could fit the ring. It just tapped right in there. Well, there's got to be something wrong for that to have blown off again. I'm not that surprised that there's that much pressure. It's a friggin', 1800 PSI system. Alright, well, this time around I'm definitely just going to steal the pump from the other, or the steering box from the other Humvee. Oh, yeah. It is quite nice. It was 8 degrees this morning, but it warmed up a good bit. Really should have just done that from the start, because that took way less time than machining that cap. The moral of the story is, if you want one Humvee that works, you gotta buy 2. See, that was... I don't know. I'm just afraid of it blowing up again. I don't know why it did. I don't know why it did again. What? I really have no idea what's going on with this thing. It shouldn't be any different.
Ethan spent the whole day in the shop trying to fix the steering box issue. Eventually, Stephen and I had to go home, not knowing what was going to happen. But the next morning...
Very good news.
Yeah, I got everything back together last night, and it didn't explode. So that's good. Turns out it was just the power steering pump sucked in a bunch of gunk from the rear differential and plugged itself up and then just kept overpressurizing. So I went ahead and put the brand new power steering pump in there, and I also disconnected the cooler lines that go to the rear diff because one, super unnecessary, and two, I just figured eliminate that as a possibility of sucking in any more crap. So I noticed a fresh puddle of ATF under here, and I was like, well, that's odd. Maybe it just dripped there when I had it parked there earlier. Crawled under here to look. There's ATF dripping off the bottom of the gas tank. That's not normal. What has ATF in it that's above the gas tank? The transfer case has a giant hole in it. That's why it was leaking everywhere. So I'm gonna guess that I probably did that damage when I broke the rear diff and the front axle. Whatever, it's completely destroyed now, so we might as well drive it around for a little bit and then replace it. It's not like it's gonna break more.
And just before the test drive, Brian arrived to pick up his brand new Tacoma from the giveaway.
She's a beaut, Clark.
He was super psyched, and Ethan and I were stoked to hear that he and his wife Sarah are hikers and campers, so this truck is going to get used the way it was intended to. So we toured the property, showed them the tree houses and all the crazy projects, and then Sarah really wanted to drive the Changli.
My sister watched the most recent Changli video, and I said, I need to drive that. Can you see why? And she goes, but it has no brakes. I said, it's okay, there's trees.
Yeah. So of course, I was happy to show her the rally track, and we all had a great time.
Transfer cases are really good for going up icy hills. Don't worry, the brakes don't work. Your truck's safe. Yeah, it's fully just two-wheel drive now.
The neighbors love us.
Oh, bet.
That I have no doubt.
So what are your thoughts? Drive it around until it stops driving, I guess, and then throw a new transfer case in it. If all else fails, maybe we can do a sweet burnout.
Faster. Just hearing everything echo off the hills. It's so rowdy.
It's unreal. It sounds so good, too. The second we hit the dirt, it gets a little bit of traction and just yoink. Probably the transfer case exploded. Oh no! Hey, picked a great place to brake the rest of the way. There's another hole in the transfer case. It just like locked too. It's like, yeah, I just locked up the. I don't know if the rear tires were locked too, but the fronts definitely were. Well, it sounds great. It has so much more power. It's a little hard to tell on ice, but it used to be really good in the higher RPMs, but the low was kind of, with moving these giant tires, it was a little slow to get there. But now it just launches.
We knew that this transfer case was only going to last a couple minutes, but it was a phenomenal couple minutes, and we know for sure that we have plenty of power, everything's working great. We just need to go order a new transfer case, upgrade the rear suspension just like we did the front, and then we are going to have the ultimate Humvee rally machine.
Think of how strong that is and how much force it takes to rip it clean in half, man. If we find the other half, we make a sweet necklace.
Brian bought a shirt and a premium sticker and won this truck.
Yep, that's the one, the winner.
Thank you guys so much for everyone that entered. Your support means everything to us, and it's why we get to do what we do. We are going to be giving away another truck very soon, so subscribe. And if you're in the Premium Members Club, you get 2 entries for the next giveaway every single month. So definitely check that out.
Amazing. You guys are the best. This is ridiculous.
Well, thanks for entering the giveaway. I'm glad someone won it who's really going to use it. That makes us really happy.
Oh, it's going to get used.
For sure.
Today, we're going to take the beautiful LS1 engine out of this wrecked Corvette and put it into this crusty old military surplus Humvee. We're going to get rid of the crunchy, gigantic, slow 6.5-liter iron block diesel V8 that weighs about 850 pounds. And we're going to be going with a 5.7-liter LS1 aluminum block V8 that weighs about 420 pounds and makes 345 horsepower. Totally stock. And eventually, we'll add in some twin turbos. So every step of this build, we're going to be making it faster and better. So we're going to do lap times at every step to find out how much we've improved it. You ready to hear how unbelievably horrendous this thing sounds with its broken flex plate? I don't think this thing likes doing red line all the way home. Oh. Well, that's normal. When you rev it up, it goes away, but pretty bad. Very nice.
This is pretty exciting because it's a turbo diesel, the other one wasn't, and it has way better tires, but also taller tires and only 3rd gear. It'll be interesting to see if it's faster than the other Humvee. The time to beat is
26.9.
That's pretty fast.
It is pretty fast, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty fast.
The spare tire went crazy on that jump. 32.87. It is way slower. Oh, I was standing right there. I thought I was about to get obliterated. I was standing right there.
Well, that whole quick release seat thing doesn't work very well without someone in the seat. I think it quick released itself on the corner there.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Dang.
With our near misses out of the way, we loaded up the seat in the Humvee and took it up to the garage for its last drive as a diesel truck. And then we hopped in the Corvette.
You ready for the jump? Yeah, I'm ready. That's not as bad as I thought. No, but most of that's in the tires. Yeah. I really like this thing. We need to get another one.
Yep.
Or, after we steal this engine, we can put some other stupid engine in here.
Ready, set, go! That didn't sound good. jumped so high and hit the jump so hard I didn't stop the timer.
Who knew that Corvettes are actually rally cars? That was great. It got a little squirrely on the landing, but and it honestly took it fairly well. I mean, it wasn't comfortable by any means. Like, it was bottomed out.
You jumped it like 20 feet.
Nice. Yeah. Jumps better than I would have expected a stock Corvette to, honestly.
Since I didn't stop the timer, we are going to look at the GoPro footage and time the entire lap to see what Ethan did.
That is exactly the same time. 26.93 to the decimal.
Like... So now that we have a time to beat, we're going to clean this thing up and take out the engine.
I decided it was a good idea just to hop on the Beta 390 in the back of the other Humvee and tell you guys that you can win this motorcycle. All you have to do is go to grindhardplumbingco.com and you'll get an entry to win for every $5 you spend. Here comes the jump.
Are you alright, Ed? That was a little bit different.
I didn't realize you ended up on the roof.
I just saw you hit the roof and then a cloud of dust engulfed everything.
That was a bad idea. But if you want to win this dirt bike, go to grindhardplumbingco.com. For the record, I said it was a bad idea. Yeah. Just for the record. I think I sent her a little too hard, bud. Oh, I hope my radiator's good. No, yeah, the power steering rack is actually completely detached.
You sent it a little too hard.
Well, I think that was already broken most of the way through from the crash, because this whole wheel was broken in the A-arm.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think I just finished it off. But yeah, it's not attached at all anymore. It's just sitting there.
Oh, you can see it way better from here.
That is not supposed to move at all.
Wow.
Just moving some peripheral stuff that's in the way. Woo-wee. Isn't that a nice looking engine?
Yeah.
I get it. I do too. I've always kind of like, hated isn't the right word because I always like respect the people that do it, but I've always avoided LS swaps simply because they're so common. But like, there's a reason they're so common, because these engines are just so good and they're so small.
Mm-hmm.
Like for a 5.7 liter V8, they don't have overhead cams, and so they're just so tiny and packageable. I was about to crawl under this thing to drain the coolant out of it. You can tell I'm not used to having a lift.
Sure, look at that bike, man. Just every time I see it.
I know, it's beautiful.
Wow.
Well, the radiator, the little drain thingy on it is kind of like broken and not working. The top of the radiator leaks anyway, so it'll definitely let the water out of the radiator. A drill bit. There you go. It's a delicate process because there's the slow drip and there's the fast drip.
You gotta get lined up with both of them.
Hey, look, it just went to one.
This is gonna be a fun week.
Yeah. If you're looking for a Corvette that's been mildly abused, has new brake pads, new tires, it's gonna be for sale real soon.
There she goes.
Parts that are already broken. You can just yoink them.
Yep.
Good lord, there's a lot of dirt in that bumper.
Yeah, there's a interesting downside of Corvette camping.
Yeah, and Corvette jumping.
Yeah.
I have a feeling I might have had a lot to do with that.
Yeah. Wow.
We have a freaking whole truckload of garbage just in the front of this thing. That's a piece of the power steering, or the steering rack mount.
Oh, that's done.
It's extremely done. pressure wash the underside, but like really the rest of the engine is quite clean overall. Like looking up the block here, it's not all covered in oil or anything. That's very nice. And there's the exhaust. All the way up. Hey, who knows? I might even want to use some of this.
Yeah, for real.
This is a great case of elevators are better than stairs.
Could you imagine that on stairs?
Sometimes there are instances where the elevator is annoying because it's not as fast as if you just wanted to run up some stairs. But when you got to bring stuff down, it's ideal.
It's gonna be fun looking at this next to the Humvee engine side by side.
Yeah, I'm really. Oh, that reminds me, I gotta order up a new crane scale so we can weigh them side by side. Really, Chevy?
I just love the way that old leather smells. This is what my BMW smelled like. What is it about it?
I don't know.
The new car smells a little too glue-like. Like a brand new car. It just smells like glue.
Yeah, just it's all plastic. There's no leather in there. That little smell of cow.
Yeah, exactly.
Mixed with your smells of plastic.
It's new cars just
It's
smell
like
toxic.
Yeah, basically like think of the smell of the Chang-Li.
Yeah.
That's a new car, but 1,000 times worse because like
it doesn't
just
glue.
Well, and it doesn't have to pass like any sort of like anything.
Yeah.
For this country, like.
Oh man. Are you ready to live inside of a Humvee or what?
If engines could talk, I think it would be terrified.
Such a weird oil pan. I see what you're talking about now that it's out.
It's super wacky. We're probably gonna need a different one for that.
Yeah. Wow. To me, it just seems real now.
Yep.
Like, I'm sure for you, you've had it all planned out in your head, but
yeah.
For me, I need a little visual aid.
Well, here you go. Visual aid.
Yeah.
Class, this is what an LS1 looks like when it's not in a Corvette. All right, time to push this husk of a Corvette out of the shop and then bring the Humvee in, pull its engine out, and swap them. That's a lot of work, so might need a little bit of caffeine first. Engine out, ready to go into this thing, which means it's time to fire this clattery old engine up for the last time. This thing's cold starts are not impressive.
Yep, my camera tripod is a little bit different now.
Is it on the broom right now?
Yeah.
Oh.
When we lift it up, it'll be fine.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Like, I'll move it off, but yeah. Look at that suspension group of like 1 inch.
Yeah.
Pretty much all of that is play.
That's what you want for a cross-country road trip vehicle.
Yeah, well, you know, we did our best to fix it, but the part that we put on there wasn't very sturdy. Wait, if you look over here, you'll see it. See how it goes up and down?
Yeah, it's the brand new part.
Yeah. It's just not very... It was just kind of a cheap part.
Sketchy.
Yeah, it's, you know, that's what you want when you're going down the highway.
Yeah.
The first step is remove the hood and grill.
One little hood is just every single part of the front end.
Yeah, it's a whole front end, not just a hood. Oh, that was so much louder than I thought it was going to be. Ow, that hurt. Oh, I didn't even know I had that much hearing left.
I mean, that's some pounds right there.
It is.
You're overflowing.
Oh. Well, that's like 90% water anyway.
It's pretty much the same color as the Humvee.
Kind of is. My guess is that's like a little bit of rust, a little bit of coolant, maybe a little bit of oil. All mixed into a slurry of deliciousness. I actually don't even know what to do with that.
That's the grind hard Slurpee flavor at 7-Eleven right there.
That's disgusting. Got most of the stuff I could reach from above removed, so now I'm underneath here pulling off the exhaust.
Your dog has the hiccups.
Einstein, you got the hiccups? Oh no. Oh, that was a pretty good guess.
That's very accurate.
This is a magnetic drain plug, and there's really not much metal debris on it, so.
Yeah, that's good. How many miles are on this thing?
No one knows.
2 engines in 2 days, man.
That engine is too heavy for that engine hoist. Vroom vroom, I am engine.
1 Ethan power. Naturally aspirated.
I was looking at some stuff here and it's really interesting. These 2 lines right here go to the rear differential. The rear differential is oil cooled. What's interesting is that that was all part of the power steering loop. So it used the power steering pump to pump fluid through the rear differential to keep it cool.
Oh, let me catch up. Oh. Would you look at that?
That's the engine and transmission and transfer case out.
Oh,
This is the one that the guys at 218 Auto gave us that they pulled out of a customer's Humvee. This is by far the beefiest transfer case that came in any Humvee. It has the chain drive inside there is apparently 30% larger. And they upgraded the cooling even more because this one is liquid cooled. Well, we got our new crane scale, so now we can find out the exact actual weight of this engine versus that engine. Well, I'd say the internet was fairly close on the numbers for how much this weighs. It is 438 pounds. Okay, now 962 pounds. Good Lord, that's a hunk of an engine that's peeing all over the floor. Okay, now I'm 960 pounds. 2 pounds of water leaked out. This is really exciting for somebody who's obsessed with weight reduction.
I was gonna say, like, you must be really excited about those
Oh
numbers.
yeah, that was really exciting. This is the best day of my life. I've never even come close to 518 pounds of weight reduction on anything before. It's amazing.
The years of grease buildup on this thing is insane.
Yeah, especially on this side where the power steering pump, where the steering and brakes are.
Even after being blasted for
Yeah, look at that. Look at this. This is a rare sight. Me using a torque wrench. I even looked up the specs. Apparently you torque them to 15 foot-pounds, 37 foot-pounds, and then 74 foot-pounds. At least, that was the first answer I found on the internet. Even more weight reduction. The time of mating has arrived. I've got the new torque converter filled with some fluid and into the transmission. So now it's time to mate the engine and transmission together.
They don't have track 1 on a plane. What world are we living in?
A wonderful one.
I guess one where you have to download it on YouTube and then go on a plane on your iPad. That's really the only other option there.
Not like smiling, but his soul is just complete right now. He's pushing one of his machines into his garage with another machine. This is what he wants me to do.
You got a nice chunk of salt there if you want to make another steak.
Oh yeah, that's the good salt. Yeah, that's the 1,000 miles on the road with oil and diesel leaked on it and then sprayed off in the driveway salt.
We should make Redbird steak sauce. Condiment pumpkin salt.
Well, I went over to the other shop to grab the broom and dustpan that I left over there, and I found something way more exciting than that. Ooh. Oh yeah, that's beef. See, that way we can take the long one and put it on the other Humvee, because that one's radiator got a little bit messed up because I'm stupid. This is all coolant. It's all water.
Is it from the radiator? Did we hit the radiator?
Oh no. Don't say it's the radiator.
And that way they'll both have good radiators.
Wow, it's nice.
Yeah. And this is like mega super overkill radiator for a freaking aluminum block LS. See, this is really just an excuse to lay on the ground because the ground is so nice and cool. I'm going to remove the motor mounts, or rather, the motor mount mounts that are up in here from the frame, so there's nothing in the way, and then I'm going to slide the engine under and see if I can just lower the Humvee on top of it.
Yeah, I wonder what was the physical weight of just grease. It was not nothing.
It was not nothing, you're right. I don't want to use any of it. First of all, most of it is for an engine that no longer exists in here, and second of all, it's all like weird military stuff where all the wires are black. I'm going to go ahead and drain the diesel out of the tank because obviously we want gasoline in there. But I'm also going to pull the tank out once I get it drained so I can reseal the top of it and put the new fuel pump and all of that stuff in. But I hope we have no more than 6 gallons in there. Also, laminal flow is it laminar? Laminal? Something. Whatever. When liquid flows such that it looks solid. Yeah, it's crazy cool when it does that. It looks just totally, it looks like a solidified piece of plastic or something. Going on weight reduction spree over here. This is all wiring that we don't need. Some of it will be replaced, but most of it won't. And then this big thing, which is like just a big old hunk of 1/2 inch thick aluminum.
What was that even for?
It was bolted down in the center there. I don't know. I assume it was for mounting comms gear or something like that, you know? Yeah, the point is we don't need it. You ever use this trick where you stand on your own foot to get taller?
Wow.